Welcome back, everybody, to the RSL playoffs. We are going to be rounding out the upper bracket semifinals today. I am State. With me is Gemini. How you doing, buddy?
Very nice. We had a nice day yesterday, some interesting games, and we've got some more today going into the upper bracket. It's going to be very nice, of course. No one's going to be getting eliminated. We already eliminated 2 players yesterday, but 2 of these players will be moving on to the upper bracket finals. Some will be meeting the losers down in the lower brackets.
Yeah, and the top 4 that we have playing today, it's a pretty stacked lineup. We're going to be starting with a best of 5, Solar versus herO, 2 top players in their class, and then later on, a little bit of European action. It's going to be Clem versus Lambo. Lambo making his debut appearance here in the RSL, and he's already in a very good position.
Yeah, some EU versus EU action a little bit later. It's going to be nice. They obviously already played each other in the group stages, and well, spoiler alert, I guess, but Clem was able to defeat Lambo pretty handedly 2-0 last time, so we'll see if Lambo can come back in that regard. But Solar versus herO is going to be first on up, and I'm very excited for that. Particularly, of course, as a Protoss player, I love watching all these top Protoss. And Solar also kind of coming in as, kind of a hot streak lately. As you can see, 3-0 versus Classic is very, very good. Classic also then getting dropped out by Shin yesterday. And then Bunny also, one of the others, getting knocked out by Rogue. So it's all Zerg here so far in RSL.
Yeah, Classic with some struggles in ZVP, but I was really impressed with how aggressive Solar was able to play that series versus Classic. It seems like that really is the meta of ZVP right now, is just hit them before they can get online.
Yep.
And it's kind of tough to have that approach as Solar here versus herO, though, because herO is one of those players that just wants to fight right from the onset.
Absolutely. Just want to give a nice big shout out and thank you to our official partner, which is Archon Studio. They've been here since the beginning, so please go ahead check them out. They've been awesome so far, supporting us for so long. They are the premier tabletop miniatures game manufacturer for Blizzard games and other types of things as well. They've gotten more than just StarCraft, but their StarCraft stuff has been really good. They're all getting painted. Ziggy is still painting all of these things over and over every single day, and they look beautiful every single time. Yeah, we got lots of stuff over here, and they're all looking awesome.
Yeah, he was painting some of these miniatures when we actually came into the studio today.
Yeah.
No, it's everything is just awesome.
He's doing it, man. He loves those painting figures.
Yeah,
and I've been jump scared again. I keep forgetting we were only doing 2 slides.
I wasn't ready either. I wasn't ready.
That's my head.
Anyway, folks, we're waiting for these players to get prepared for the very first match here. It's going to be Solar versus herO in a best of 5 series. The winner moving on into the upper bracket finals. Just one step away from the grand finals. The loser going to fall into the lower bracket. And the lower bracket, too, here in the RSL, I mean, it is a stacked season. The Zergs are very dominant, but Shin and I believe Rogue currently waiting for the losers of these series down the lower bracket. That is not an easy matchup for anybody.
No, I mean, every single match you're going to be getting at this point in the playoffs is going to be absolutely insane. So you got to be bringing your A game every single time. There's not going to be any easy match. I mean, I guess, like Bunny was probably the dark horse, Lambo, another dark horse of the tournament. So those are, maybe the players that, you could look for in that regard. But basically, everyone is still doing very well. I mean, Lambo getting this far at all is pretty impressive, especially on his first run is really cool. So it's always exciting to see how well he's going to do and see if he's cooked anything up against Clem as well. But, I mean, herO Solar, this is just going to be a crazy match. And then, of course, any of them going against the Zergs in the lower bracket. I mean, you don't want to play those players this early on in the tournament, I would say.
Yeah, but it's also exciting as a caster and as a fan because it means that no matter how this bracket shakes out, we're going to get some incredible matches over today and next week.
We're very happy. The players aren't, but we absolutely are feasting.
All right, Solar and herO nearly prepared here as set number 1 is going to be played on Eternity's Edge. So we're getting ready to kick off this best of 5 series. The players getting ready right now. And Gemini, who do you think is going to take this one? Because I look at this, and I'm very impressed with Solar's 3-0 takedown of Classic, but herO just seems to be on another level. He's the best Protoss player in the world right now. I got to give him the edge.
Yeah, I generally would be favoring him as well. He has won the last 2 times that they have played as well. 2 2-0s for herO, so I would be giving him a slight edge in general. However, it could be either player moving on. Let's go into the first map here at Eternity's Edge. What a strange map to say. On attack. Great
intro, Gemini. Well
Start
done.
Playing.
As always, happy to have you here. As herO spawns in the top left as the blue Protoss, Solar down in the bottom right as the red Zerg. No early probe scout, by the way, from herO, which makes me wonder if he might be going for something like a gas first build. Occasionally, I feel like with herO, you either get the probe going out immediately across the map, and there's the gas first, or you get the greediest build imaginable, which is this gas first opening coming in by herO, whereas Solar is going for a proxy hatch at a really interesting location. I actually have never seen this on Eternity's Edge. He's opting to build it in the closest proximity to herO's natural expansion while still being close to the high-yield Vespene Geyser.
Yeah,
this is interesting.
Very cool. I'm curious to see how this shapes up, especially considering that herO is not scouting. Since he's going for the full greed opener, he is not going to be going for an early scout here. He's going to be basically getting this information as late as possible. And so the reaction that you would be doing based off of that is going to be, of course, slightly different than if you had just scouted really early and just gotten this information right from the get-go. So it's going to be a bit of a panic situation here for herO once he does identify what's going on. And there's that extractor getting taken as well on that right there. So very curious to see what Solar's going to be doing. Of course, throwing some more drones across the map to, again, make some spine crawlers and whatnot, or I guess maybe just to mine from the gas as well. Yeah, I guess, what are you even going to do with this?
It's got to
so
be
interesting.
It's got to be for Roach Ravager. I don't think you need this much gas if you're going to do something like a Baneling bust, although I might be proven wrong here. It feels like it's going to be for Roaches. And look at how well timed Solar has this. The moment that the drone mines the high-yield Vespene gas, it arrives at the hatchery to drop it off. Oh, this is a really cool build that we're seeing from Solar. Now herO's going to find this out. Now, the one thing that is good for herO is that he went for the greediest build imaginable. He didn't get the scout off, but that means that his Stargate is going to be the fastest it could possibly be. It's 211, 212 right now, and he has the resources to throw the Stargate down. This is like 15 seconds faster than it might be in some other games. Unfortunately for herO, he does throw it down just a little bit later than the optimal timing, and now he's seeing the Ling, so he knows there's a proxy hatch close to his base. He doesn't know it's going to be these Roaches. He scouted no gas in the main base of Solar. He might think this is going to be spines.
Yeah, that's a very tricky, bit of information. Of course, he does see the Roach warn, though, so that's definitely very good. So he will get the confirmation where this proxy hatch is as well. Sees the gas mining, sees the couple Roaches. They're going to morph into a couple Ravagers as well. Queen's already at the front door, a little ahead of the pack here. Doesn't want to get jumped, so needs to stay clear from that wall for now, waiting for the rest of the units. But yeah, we're going to be getting some units out from the Stargate. Yeah, I like that Void Ray first. Just get that consistent damage coming out, as of course the energy from the Oracle can drain, even with the energy recharge, but you could also potentially use that on the batteries. A couple of Biles getting thrown down on the pylon for now, as there's no healing because the batteries are not here just yet, and that Stalker insanely low as well. We're just going to dive bomb it with some of these Ravagers, and the pylon getting killed off. That is an Artosis pylon, absolutely, as everything is getting depowered, and now there's nothing here. The Void Ray needs to save the day.
Yeah, the Void Rays is going to be coming out. The problem is we already have 2 Queens here for Solar, and the creep spread is getting closer and closer. Eventually, those Queens will even be able to transfuse as the creep continues to encroach on herO's base. And I think herO's doing the smart thing right now. He's sacrificing the natural expansion. He's building shield batteries in the main base. He's just trying to stay in this game against the 17 drones of Solar, and Solar giving a nod to that. He's starting drones back at home, slowly trickling some out. But there still is knockout potential here for Solar. He might be able to push up that ramp and get herO out of this game, because really the only production herO's got is this Stargate.
Yeah, there's not even a sentry here to force field or anything like that, so Solar is able to just walk right on in. Those Biles actually almost connecting to the Void Rays, but good micro in the end. Will be able to start to kill some of these off is herO, as the Queens are still on the ramp, dishing out some damage, but 3 batteries helping to keep these alive. So now it is just the Roaches. They're going to try to go around and try to kill off as many probes as possible, since he can't really kill these Void Rays very easily. So he will be able to kill some of these. I wonder how much of a mistake this has been from Solar, as, yeah, the game just ends right there. Wow, herO actually defending that with no intel that was coming until the last possible second.
I thought we might have another Queen being added in. I thought it might be a bit of a slower push up the ramp there by Solar, given that, you know, he took down the Cybernetic Square, he took down the Gateway. There's only the Stargate for herO, but man, what a novel game.
Yeah, that was very interesting. I mean, I wonder how much better it would have been just to, like, kill the natural, just try to make sure you kill that off instead of just YOLOing up into the main base. But then it's still this awkward situation because you're on still such a low drone count, and then half of your infrastructure is across the map in that really weird proxy location that's probably just going to get killed off by the Void Rays anyways. A really weird situation. It felt like everything went Solar's way, but he still just dropped the ball.
Yeah, I mean, the Stargate timing being a little bit faster with the gasless, or with the gas first opening, I should say, there by herO, does make things a little bit easier on the defense, but I was right there with you. I was expecting, you know, we saw at least one drone get started there by Solar at one of these expansions. I was thinking, well, probably he's going to take down the natural expansion. He'll get one or two more queens up, and then he can likely push up into the main, but oh, Solar just going for the rush all the way through, trying to knock herO out of this game, but herO, with those Void Rays, with the Oracles, able to defend. That was a peculiar one indeed.
Yeah, we're not seeing that again. That's not getting rotated back in for the rest of this best of 5, that's for sure. That was a very map-specific build. I'd very much be surprised if we see that one yet again. But we're going to be going into Warzak as our next map. It's going to be map number 2, seeing if Solar can maybe bring out some more cheeky stuff, or if herO is going to be able to go away with a nice 2-0 start to the series.
All right, after a fast game number 1, herO spawning down here in the bottom right of Rorschach as the blue Protoss, Solar in the bottom left as the red Zerg. I still can't get over the previous game. I mean, what a unique build, kind of exploiting the high yield Vespene gas. It didn't quite work out there for Solar in the end, but I would love to see a couple more games like that, if not in the RSL, then perhaps in the GSL or in some of their online tournaments, because I haven't seen too many of them. And I feel like we didn't get to the bottom of the potential for a build like that one, you know? Like, I think there was some room for Solar to potentially drone up a little bit, but I mean, Solar's going to know better than me for sure. I want more data, man. I want to see more games like that one. It was such a cool build.
It's just so interesting because it's like, it just looks like everything's working well. You kill everything at the front, you depower everything, you force them into the main base. But then, like, what do you do? Like, you can try to kill the Nexus. That's going to take forever, I feel. Like, the Void Rays and everything are going to be able to chip away for a while. You can't, like we saw, we can't just go right up the ramp or anything. It's going to be hard to just run back home because you're just on one base, really. That other base on the other side is not really doing anything. So I wonder if it's almost one of those builds that's like kind of, it's like overcooked, you know, like you think a little too hard on how exactly it should work, and then there's not actually a thing there. But I don't know. It was very interesting. I would love to see it again just to see the idea behind it.
I mean, Solar's a very smart player. I don't think he would do the build unless he had practiced it and was pretty confident that it had the chance to take a player like herO down. Maybe if it's a later Stargate, you just get the victory. Like the Stargate being thrown down. Say if the Protoss is like prioritizing minerals at home instead of gas and going for a relatively fast probe scout, the probe scout might be pretty confusing. You know, you would go into the main base of the Zerg, you would see no gas, but you would see a pool and you would see no hatchery. And then you're likely going to go on the map and try and find out what's going on. You wouldn't actually catch wind that it's going to be a Roach Warren because the gas timing window has basically been missed, right? So who knows? In a situation like that one, had herO gone for that sort of opening, maybe the Stargate would be a little bit delayed. But in any case, herO taking game number 1. Now we're going to game number 2. Cybernetic Core is finished here for herO. It's a less greedy opening from herO since he did go for the probe scout, but we still have a very quick Stargate coming in. And let's see where this game's going to take us.
Yeah, double Adept going to be coming out, so it's going to be a bit of an aggressive opener here for herO, of course, trying to get any sort of scouting and then potentially meet both of those Adepts up to try and get some drone kills if that does open up. So we'll see how much he's able to do with this. For now, he's just going to be sending them around, just trying to make sure he's not getting caught by any wraparound lings, trying to sneak their way around or anything like that. And we'll just be also being a bit sneaky himself, so it's a little bit difficult to know exactly where these Adepts are going to be coming from. Maybe you're going to be able to skip past some Overlords and whatnot, but yeah, just clearing out the map for everything, and even going for Void Ray after this as well. So really trying to make sure he denies as much vision with these Adepts and the Void Ray.
Oh, herO potentially going for a very fast third base at the half gold, half blue mineral expansion. Something you don't usually see here on Rorschach, but
I think one other person did try this.
Oh, did they?
Season, but I can't remember. I remember someone doing. I think Rogue did this actually. I think Rogue tried to take that base and did some like early like Zergling all in or something like that, and it didn't work. But it was an interesting thing to try to bring out because again, it does have these extra gold minerals. It's this interesting half base. You don't ever see a base like this. I feel like this is a very unique feature to this map that we have a half gold, half regular mineral base. So. Yeah, it looks like Solar is even wise to this. We'll be going over with this Zergling, and we'll find it out pretty early. So, gigs up for herO. That's not really going to be a secret for too long, so let's see what Solar does to react.
I'm not sure how much the mineral income is of a typical gold base. Obviously, the workers, they mine more resources per trip, but the main bonus of getting a gold base is just that it takes less workers to saturate it. So you're able to cut workers, the income is still substantial, and you're feeling good. But this one, because of the fact that it has 4 gold and 4 blue minerals, and look at this, he full walls in this gigantic ramp. And he can recall probes either from the natural expansion or the main base to get in here and saturate this. Oh, this is a very cool opening coming in by herO. It's the Twilight Council of Forge and 2 gateways here on the front line.
I do like this. This is very cool.
This is awesome. Oh, is he going to... How... Oh, there's a worker-only path. That's right. I'm sorry. It's... Again, I don't realize... Yeah, there is, right above the gases.
Oh, my God. We're all done.
No. That's...
I also didn't even know that was there.
I've only casted so many games here on
Rorschach. I literally didn't even know that was there. It's hilarious. All right, cool. Well, that makes it even easier to go for that then. That's very nice. Doesn't even have to waste the recall energy.
All right, so it's going to be 4 more gateways being built right now by herO.
3 Void Rays is also crazy.
Yeah, this is a very awesome build coming in by herO.
God.
I mean,
no way he just kills this.
You never see something like this. There's no transfuse available. Of course, the Spore Crawler and the 2 Queens are going to force herO to get away.
I mean, killing a Spore is quite nice, dude. Obviously makes it much more easy to go back and forth with the Void Rays or potential Oracles as well. Lots of Lings trying to batter down this wall, and there's not really much on the ground, so the Void Rays will have to come back to make sure all this infrastructure stays alive. So
herO's supply block, that's why he can't warp in or defend with his
that's hilarious.
He's been at 76 out of 77 for a little while now.
Protoss moment.
It's all right. We're throwing down like 4 or 5 pylons right now. Everything's going to be fine.
That's so funny. Mutas as well coming out from Solar on the back end here, so it's going to be a pretty... I feel like unexpected tech coming out, as herO, of course, isn't going to be prepared for this too much. He's only got those Void Rays, but I mean, like, he's not going to have this information for quite a while. Yeah,
so let's take very quick inventory of what herO's going for. He's adding in a lot of gateways. This might even be like 11 or 12 gateway. Here for herO coming in with +1 in charge, and only just now is he taking his 3rd Vespene Geyser. So herO, not a lot of gas at the bank. Charge is done, but Blink has not yet started. There's only Void Rays, no Phoenix. And Blink only just now begun, so it's going to be pretty tricky for herO to try and deal with the Mutas. My concern here for Solar is that there might not be enough roaches on the map right now to actually absorb the damage here from the Zealots. The Mutas are going to be very slow at actually cleaning this up. So Solar going for a wall in right now. The Void Rays might try to focus that down, instead going for the roaches first. It's a logjam here at the natural expansion, and now the Mutas connecting with the Void Rays, able to clean both of them up. The problem is there's just so many Zealots, Gemini.
Yeah, that is a lot of charge slots. Some of them are weakened, and the micro is still pretty decent from Solar, keeping some of these Queens alive and making sure that they can transfuse each other to try and body block for as long as possible. That wall really did help to make sure that those can stay alive for as long as possible as well. A couple more getting into the main base. We'll be able to kill just a few drones, but that is a nice defense from Solar, and how he's got so much supply out of nowhere, 150 to just 82 of herO, and now he can walk across the map with the roaches and the Mutas, and now what does herO have to defend?
Just 1 shield battery and a Phoenix. Make that 2 Phoenix here at the 3rd base. The half gold expansion here for herO, as the Muta's going to be trying to find another target. Nice micro there by Solar, getting some damage on the Phoenix. Is the main base of herO defended? The Muta's already taken down a couple of workers. There is a photon cannon here to deal with it. I think these Mutas eventually are going to get cleaned up. Solar is already focused entirely on the Roach switch. It's almost a Roach max build coming in here. Blink gets denied. One of the risks that you go for here is herO with the Twilight Council and the Forge of the Wall. It's the potential for a tech snipe like that one, and I think there just might be too many Roaches and Ravagers here, Gemini.
Yeah, this is looking really bad for herO. The Warpin also getting canceled as the Pylon gets killed off. There's really nothing here for herO to defend against this. He's just desperately trying to lift up a couple Ravagers with just 3 Phoenixes, and there's still the Mutas lurking around as well. All the probes getting killed off at this half gold base. Yeah, this is just looking absolutely cooked for herO right now. This is a very good response from Solar, of course, just kind of identifying what was going on and maybe going for a bit of a risky play himself for such a fast Spire in general, but it definitely did pay off in a great amount right here. I mean, herO is... he's dead, let's be honest with you. Let's not do the caster moment where it's like, oh, maybe he can find his way back here, but no, this is looking pretty bad for him, man.
Well, maybe Gemini, maybe herO can fight his way back here. He's got a lot of Zealots and Stalkers.
No, it's Roaches. Do not, State, do not do the caster thing. Come on, this game is so over. He's got 80 supply, charge lots against Roaches. Yeah, this is it, brother. No way. I mean, sure, he looks like he's kind of putting it back and forth,
Keep
but
going.
it's like, if he just lifts up, if he could just lift up a few more roaches and just maybe, oh, if I could just micro a little bit harder. No, it's not.
I mean, it is excellent control here by herO, and he is staying alive in the natural expansion. The problem is that they're riding kind of on the wall right now with 38 probes versus 70 drones.
Oh, come on, just like a little bit more energy on the battery. I can do it.
Yeah, the 4 bases for Solar to the 2 expansions here from herO. Even if herO is able to get on the map and secure a 3rd base, he's not going to have any answer to the follow-up coming in by herO. There's so many Hydras on the field now. herO knows it. GG is called, and we're all tied up 1-1.
He definitely did try a little bit hard on that last one. But anyways, Solar coming out with a nice victory. It's kind of interesting as well because both players coming out in these first 2 games with very like efficient and kind of, you know, calculated builds that they've kind of cooked up for these maps specifically, and both of them failing. Really hard, actually. Like, neither of the 2 really interestingly cooked up builds find any success whatsoever. Just the solid, stable, reactionary play seems to be winning out so far.
I mean, I'm happy the win for him. That was a lot of fun.
It's very interesting. Yeah, I agree.
Watch and analyze and digest. I think that the build that herO went for has some serious potential there on Rorschach. I just don't know if Charge and +1 Zealots are the way to go off of the expansion pattern like that. If you're taking the half gold base.
So, like, you want to do that so badly just because the mineral income, right? You're just like, oh, this is perfect for a charge model then. But it's like just still like how fast it hits. It's like not actually hitting it before anything really happens. Like, he's able to get that many roaches, able to get that many mutas out before a charge lot all in happens. It's like, well, what's the purpose of it here? I guess it's just not quite hitting fast enough. I don't know.
Yeah, I would have liked to seen some blink play behind that, but in any case, guys, I want to give a big shout out to our supporters here on Patreon, and if you're not yet a supporter on Patreon, we invite you to go check it out, look at some of the privileges that the Patreon supporters get there. They can vote on the maps, on the players, they get the replay packs, they can join the Discord and get special perks in that server as well, so, give it a look-see, patreon.com/ReviveSC2. This tournament would not be possible without your support.
Yes. Okay, there we go. There's our switchback. Excellent. We're going to go to a short little break. We're going to be back with this series after a little bit. Do not go anywhere. More RSL coming on up.
She dive on the Thor. Welcome back, everybody, to the RSL. We are continuing on with Solar versus herO. Currently 1-1 between these 2 after 2 short but really interesting games.
Yeah.
I liked kind of the big brain plays that both players went for, but as you pointed out, both players, they go for these really clever builds that seem like they are so perfectly crafted for the map. They've been cooked up in the lab, and then they finally deploy it here in the RSL, and it is just not working.
Just absolutely face rolled, man. Just not even close both times. Bit unfortunate. It's going to be Necropolis for map number 3, so I feel like we're probably going to be getting a return to normalcy here. I think both players will try to bring out something a bit more standard. Maybe we'll get a bit of a longer game. Let's go ahead and check it on out on Necropolis as herO is spawning on the top left-hand side and Solar over on the bottom right.
Yeah, and I would like to have a longer game between these 2, but I wouldn't mind if it wasn't a standard one. I kind of enjoyed the approach that Solar had with a proxy hatcher, the high-yield Vespian gas in game number 1, and herO had with the forward half-gold expansion and a charge lot build in game number 2. Some really clever approaches from both of these players. So you're going to be going for, okay, not quite a scout just yet. Will he be scouting after the gateway, or will this once more be a gas-first build? Gateway first.
Nice. This is my ladder style, man. Just so safe, just so solid. Just don't want to get caught off guard by any crazy, weird, degenerate Zerg all-ins. That they do play the ladder all the time. So yeah, it'd be great to get that nice information, and herO's going to be going for that himself. So we'll be getting all of that, knowing, of course, that Solar went for that early proxy hatch. Just wants to make sure that that's not happening anymore, or any sort of fast pools or stuff like that. But we'll get in and just see absolutely standard stuff.
Yeah, and herO getting in, even with a Gateway Scout, it's late enough that you cannot block the natural expansion getting thrown down here by Solar, but it's early enough that you can see the gas timing, you can see the spawning pool timing, and herO scouts that everything is standard on Solar's side of the map. It's looking like it will be a 330 speed should Solar decide to fire that up the moment that the resources are available. And that means that herO can just develop normally on his side of the map. It's likely going to be a Stargate follow-up here for herO, although, we have had a couple of curveballs already in this series, so maybe a mix-up coming here in game number 3.
Yeah, I wonder how much herO is going to be doing his kind of... I mean, like, I feel like herO does kind of bring out some really interesting builds here and there with... Even though he does go for more standard styles as well, even the way that he does the standard styles, I feel like just has its own flair to them. It's always like a game you can watch and you're just like, okay, this is a herO game. Like, this is the way he does it. Just the amount of oracles he might make with the Blink Stalkers, the way he kind of utilizes them, how bad his wall off might be, you know, those types of things are what you might be looking for to identify a herO game. So for now, it looks like he's got a nice wall off as well. It's going to be really nice. But how many oracles he makes, how aggressive he wants to be with them, it really kind of varies between game to game. So we'll see how aggressive he wants to be with everything.
And herO opting to go for the Adept first in this game. We'll see if he follows up with another Adept in the Stargate behind it. And it's going to be a Stalker. herO's been favoring this quite a bit recently. Oh, cancels it. He's juking me right now. I can't remember if it was herO or Classic, but somebody has been going Adept into Stalker quite recently, early on, just because I think that, you know, with the Spore change and also with Zerg players simply just getting better with the Spore timings and with their Queen movements, Oracles, it feels like, at least in this season of the RSL and the recent season of the GSLs, they're not getting quite as much damage done in the early game as you would typically expect to see. And so oftentimes, Zerg or Protoss players, they're pivoting instead to go into a pretty fast Stalker, and they just use the Oracle to get vision of any Overlords that might be on the map so that they can pick them off. But here on Acropolis, of course, there is that dead airspace by the natural expansion. So Solar right now, he can see both Vespene Geysers of herO, and we'll be gathering that intel. And if herO wants to take down this Overlord, it's going to take a Void Ray, which is what he is starting up.
Yeah, the Void Ray is going to finish up, so it's going to be some more intel denying here from herO. Of course, unfortunately, that Void Ray is not exactly going in the right direction, though, so will not actually be able to kill that, but it's going to be trying to maybe force a cancel on this third base, even, if it gets there fast. Oh, no, never mind. It's, like, totally about to finish. Never mind.
Yeah,
Where is this Void Ray going? What is the purpose of this thing?
So I think the play from herO is that you already know that the first Overlord is by your natural expansion, and that one's dead, basically. It's already written off. It's just herO hasn't gotten to it yet, and so he's moving out with the Void Ray first to see if he can pick off any more Overlords on the map that Solar might be trying to bring back to safety. And then once he finally combs the map of any of these stray Overlords, then he'll go back to the natural, then he can finally take that one down to the pocket.
It's a very smart way to go about it. Of course, my dumb Protoss brain, I just look at the first Overlord right in front of my natural. I'm like, God, I gotta kill this thing right now! It's gonna like see what I'm doing! It's gonna see my totally normal build! Oh my God!
What was the psychological experiment they did, like, with children and candy? It's just like, if you don't eat this candy now, we'll give you more candy in 5 minutes. And Gemini is just like, I see a Twix, I am eating it.
Give that to me, chocolate in my mouth right now. God damn it, give it to me. No, I see that Overlord, I pounce, man. I don't want to lose that thing. It's going to find a little way to get out of my sight, so I got to kill that thing immediately. But herO is much smarter than I, and we'll get that later. Was able to get a couple more with that Void Ray, so that's very nice. Healing off some creep tumors as well to deny that vision, and that map presence is always nice. And there he does go for that candy a little bit later.
Yeah, so that means it's going to be, what, 2 Overlords in total? Maybe even picked off a Ling or 2 that were trying to guard that tower on the right-hand side. So pretty nice here. Pretty nice start here for herO as he's going up into Templar Tech, adding in more gateways, charge and plus one ground weapons getting
crazy
started.
Doing double Twilight.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of StarCraft casting recently, Gemini. I'm a little bit more scatterbrained than I usually am.
It all happens to the best of the state. Anyways, double Oracle coming on back in, trying to see what they can find. We'll just kind of just do a nice little bypass and just see a couple queens, see a couple drones moving around, sees the lair being morphed as well, so nothing crazy going on there. And we'll also, I believe, see no Roach Warren, and does see the Baneling Nest and that upgrading Evo Chamber, so should know that this is going to be a Roachless game for now, as a couple of Adepts will try to find their way into the third base, focus down a few of those drones, and do a pretty good job of that, killing off 7, probably even 8 if it could just get this last. No, he transfuses it! Oh my God, Solar's sick. So nice little Adept harass still, though, but 7 is, not exactly what you want to be losing to that.
Yeah, nice move there by herO, even coming with Oracles now into the main base. Just taking a little bit of the damage from the Spore Crawler, pick off some more drones that count now up to 10. And Solar is ramping up from some aggression. He's down to 47 drones, and he is not repopulating them. Instead, he is just really hammering home more Zerglings, more Banelings, trying to hit a +1 melee attack, timing attack, and let's see what Solar can get done. The Oracles right now, they're relatively low on energy. They've been spending a lot of that on the harassment. Storm is only about halfway complete, and I don't think we have any Archons yet for herO. Instead, he's just been banking Templar for the energy. So this is a critical window where herO is vulnerable and Solar is looking to get damage done.
Yeah, and I mean, we all know that herO's got some wonky walls, and that is a pylon in the wall as well. Going to take much less banelings than normal to be able to kill that off. So into the main base he does go. Lings also finding their way into the third at the same exact time. Banelings trying to meet with these probes, and we'll be able to get a good amount eventually. Nicely done there, and all of them in the main base getting killed off. 38 probes in total, as the Nexus also tries to get targeted, and more Lings ransack the third.
These are effectively the last probes that herO has in this game. With some nice mineral micro there, herO is able to pick off the Zerglings. He's able to retain a count of 32 probes in total. I think they are literally all at that third base. It's so overpopulated right now. He's got to transfer back to the natural expansion, but what a well-timed attack by Solar, just hitting at the moment of weakness right before Storm is done, right before herO has any Templar, or any Archons, I should say, on the board. Picking off, what, 2 full bases worth of probes. And herO also trading out quite a bit of army to try and defend against that.
Yeah, that was probably the best that could go for Solar. I mean, short of just knocking him out of the game. That was incredible economic damage, even getting one of these oracles, so it's going to deny any more vision, no more revelations for as much, basically, because obviously one Oracle is not going to be able to keep up that much energy for that, and you want to get those recharges on the Templar just like that to make sure you can get enough Storm out to be able to defend against the Hydra attacks as well, but you're not really going to be knowing where those are coming from as often. Watchtowers also being taken here from Solar, making sure he knows he's not getting counterattacked right after that big Baneling attack. So yeah, Solar is looking like in full control after that attack. He's even got another Ling finding its way into the main base, just continuing to be annoying and just get as much information as possible. This game is all Solar.
Yeah, that Zergling tells Solar exactly where the economy of herO is right now. He sees that herO is struggling to resaturate the main base. Knows that herO is in pretty dire straits, and for herO, I think the game plan moving forward is simply to stabilize on these 3 bases. I don't think that you can try and take a 4th expansion for a very long period of time here as Protoss. You've already suffered so much economic damage. Right now, it's just about surviving and trying to retain the critical units, the Templar, the Archon, although I say that in herO, he's an unconventional player. He's thinking about attacking right now, so he's actually going to meet the army of Solar right in front of the third base. Revelation will spot everything. There's no Zealot here at the natural wall, and even if there was, it wouldn't actually plug the gap. It's a 2-tile opening there at the natural.
That's a lot of Zealots just getting eaten by those Banelings. It's not the best connections there from the Protoss perspective. It's, of course, these Lings still causing havoc in the main base. 6 more probes getting killed off. More Warpins being forced to be going on over there as well. But herO is going to march across the map. He thinks he does have some sort of an opportunity with a good amount of Storms, but potentially maybe just baiting out some units here, trying to find the best spot to go. I mean, this army is literally all Storms, man. Like, once those Storms are gone, the actual standing army from herO is really not looking that great.
Yeah, Templar have a fair bit of energy, maybe 8 Storms in total across all of them, as Solar once more coming into the main base here for a counterattack. herO still not eyeing a 4th base just yet. I think he might be thinking that, you know, his position, it's so poor economically that he can't even try and hunker down on 3 bases and craft basically a perfect army with the resources that he has left at his disposal. Instead, he thinks that he needs to attack in this moment, and we'll see. The army supply of Solar is absolutely massive, but those Storms really good at just covering the entire surface area that Solar was trying to set up for Concave with. Satri absolutely low on HP, but the Storms are starting to dissipate. There's maybe only 2 left.
Banelings right on top of absolutely everything. What are you going to do as herO in this position? You can see him smiling as well on the webcam. Knows the situation he's in right now. Excellent setup from Solar. Sure, he took a couple, you know, Storms to the face in the initial defense, but that just was wasting those energies, basically. I mean, that was all that herO had at that point, was those Templar, and now everything is looking really bad for him.
I mean, herO, given the army that he had, that was a pretty good trade. It boosts him into cost efficiency there as we had a look at the units lost tab. The problem is that the economy of Solar has just been so much bigger than herO's for so long now. herO is able to nearly remax. You can see the income advantage right there. It's been solidly maybe 1,000 minerals or 1,000 resources in total above herO for maybe 4 or 5 minutes now. And Solar's economy just absolutely pumping. And now it seems like herO is opting to go for the more conservative defensive option. He's throwing down a fleet beacon. He's potentially going to be starting a mothership pretty soon. But I'm not sure Solar is going to want to give him that kind of time.
Yeah, absolutely not. It doesn't even look like herO has the gas to make a mothership in the first place. He's just still spending so much gas on these Templar to be able to stay alive. Nice cancel on those Banelings, of course, but there's still going to be more storms, so you got to be really careful. Solar's getting bungled up here on these corners, taking a lot of damage to these storms. Thankfully, we'll be able to kill off that 4th base, get a cancel on that. Mothership does get started. There's only going to be a few storms in this defense at the moment. I'm not sure if there's a recharge ready or not to get some more out. But there's honestly still a decent amount here overall. You could morph in some of these Archons as well, but yeah, no, Solar I think has just got it totally fine at that point. herO doesn't want to go any further. Yeah, I mean, a pretty nice game overall from Solar. What even happened in the beginning of that game? I actually totally forgot what that interaction was. How did it even get to this point?
Well, herO went for... Are you suffering
I literally just
amnesia?
forgot. My brain just shut off. Yeah, I'm serious. I'd actually forget.
Well, herO went for a pretty fast 3rd base. He tried to get some adept damage done on
it was
Solar's
the
side of the
Bane
map.
attack. That's
and
right.
then
The big Ling Bane.
Yeah, there was the
Thank
follow-up Ling Baneling timing attack with +1. I think Solar was down to like 47 drones in total and decided that instead of trying to resaturate his bases, he would just keep pumping Zerglings, pumping Banelings, and he would go for a big counterattack. And it got huge damage done. I mean, he broke down the wall of herO, the natural expansion. He got into the main base. He got into the natural. All of those minerals, all of those probes were wiped out. And herO was reset down to like 30-something probes. So herO was just in dire straits economically. And I guess you have 2 paths you can go if you're in a position like that one as herO. You can try and get aggressive as herO did, or you can try and play defensively. Say you get a mothership, you get some Archons, you get some more Templar out on the field. If you're going to do anything aggressively, it's like warping in some Zealots and trying to send them to a stray base to get some damage done. Yeah, herO opting for the aggressive option did not pay off for him, but really there isn't a winning choice there. You're hoping that Solar makes some kind of mistake.
Yeah, you have to get some crazy mistakes from the opponent. You got to take some insane risks. So herO trying to go for the risk, attacking out, just didn't work out for him. Of course, his army wasn't built for it. But anyways, Celestial Enclave is going to be our next map. Let's get loaded on into that to see if Solar can close this one out with a 3-1, or if herO is going to bring us to a game number 5.
All right, Solar spawning in the top right as the red Zerg here on Celestial Enclave. herO, the blue Protoss down in the bottom left. And for herO coming into this one, I think you got to be pretty careful about what Solar is capable of here in the early game. Already he has shown, even though it was the one herO, or the one win that herO has had in this series, that Solar is capable of doing some pretty aggressive builds, such as like a proxy hatchery into roaches. He's gone for delayed Baneling attacks with +1 melee attack. Really, Solar, all of his wins have come on the back of very aggressive play. And I know that herO is typically the aggressor in most of his matches, but I think it might make sense right now to take a step back, play a little bit more of a calm game here, and just try to react to what Solar is doing. The same way that herO in the GSL Finals versus Shin dropped the first couple of maps, and then decided to play a little bit more of a patient game and just react to all of the different attacks that Shin was throwing his way. I think the same approach would be advisable here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's kind of interesting because both these players got to this position from being extremely aggressive. herO was able to batter down Shin with some great play in the earlier parts of the tournament. And then, of course, Solar also dispatched a Classic with similar style layer all-ins and stuff like that. So to see them both kind of clashing in this matchup is very interesting, of course. So, yeah, some adaptability is needed here from herO to be able to stay alive in this series. Whereas Solar, of course, he could still go for a lot of this aggressive stuff that's been working very well for him. And I think it's kind of okay to just keep going for that for at least one more game, because it's not been it's been doing pretty well. It's not broken just yet, so don't fix anything for now for Solar. I think his trajectory in this particular series is looking very nice, so keep up with that aggression. We'll see what type of style he's going to go for, because there's still so many different things you can do as Zerg in the mid game.
I mean, Solar has just been playing excellently this entire RSL playoffs. 3-0 victory over Classic, now up 2-1 here versus herO. And he's doing it on the back of aggressive plays. I think that is just kind of where the Zerg race is at in this matchup. You have to be the aggressor here as Zerg, because a Protoss player like herO or Classic, if they're able to navigate into a 4 or 5 base situation, they're not necessarily going for an exhaust play. They're not trying to mine out or wait until the entire map is mined out. But the armies that players like this can construct, like herO and Classic can construct, they are world eaters. I mean, you go up to 200 supply, and it's nothing but Archons, Templar, Mothership, Tempest. There is no chaff. And it's very hard for Zerg, even with a full Remax available in the bank, to actually deal with an army like that. So for Solar, I don't think that he should change anything moving forward. Even if he loses this game on the back of aggression, you got to go back to the aggression again in a game number 5, because that is your path to victory.
Oracle coming out first here for herO, not going for that Void Ray first like he's been kind of favoring a couple times here in this series. As a Zergling will also be able to find that information, so it sneaks on by and we'll be able to confirm that. It's very nice for Solar just to get that information, just knowing exactly when you need to time your spores out. This time, of course, since it's not the Void Ray first, you don't need to delay them. You do need to make sure you get them relatively early at just kind of the standard time, but if you saw the Void Ray coming out, you could possibly get away with keeping those spores being made for a little bit longer. But for now, Solar's just going to make those on up. He's going to get some more queens, make sure they're positioned properly, and we'll be totally fine.
herO setting up now for the third expansion as the first Oracle is about to pop. Solar will see if he can get some pressure done with these Lings, but herO being quite conservative. Oh, excuse me, the second Oracle is about to pop. First one already cross-map, picks off one creep tumor. Yeah, Solar with these Lings just scouting the timing. Not actually going to be able to dive on this because herO's being quite safe right now with those two Adepts. And now we're waiting to see how both players are going to develop from this position. It seems like Solar might be running back the fast +1 melee style here versus herO. You have to be very careful with an approach like that one, because if herO catches wind that Solar is just playing for the Lingbane style and decides to go for a more conservative game, you know, him throwing down a lot of static defense, getting early Archons, and then adding in the Storm, it can be hard to the Ling-Baneling to actually get damage done. And if you go into the mid game, oh, hold that thought actually, no Spore Crawler here at the third base, so herO actually diving past those 3 queens, picking up some drones. That's a good pickoff for him.
Yeah, love it whenever you're able to find those little weaknesses there in the Zerg's defense. Of course, they're trying to cut corners as much as possible, maybe not getting a spore in one of the bases as the queens are just going to be sitting there. So sometimes you can get a nice drive-by, and herO able to find that there. Blinken +1 is going to be the mid-game tech of choice here from herO, going into what, again, is just the more stock standard style of PvZ in this day and age, and something that herO is very adept at doing. I mean, he honestly kind of invented this style almost, or just really revolutionized it when he kind of came back from the military so many years ago. He was doing this Blink Stalker, like mass Oracle style, just being very aggressive on the map, and it's been something that's been very strong over the years. So we'll be going into that one this time as he just tries to find a couple more drones with the Oracles and doing a pretty good job of it.
2 more gases getting taken now by herO, and keep in mind that here on Celestial Enclave, herO can go for the pocket expansion should he want to, and not really expand his footprint here on the map further than where he's already at right now on these 3 bases. And I'm wondering how aggressive herO's actually going to get with this Blink. He is adding in additional gateways, so there is some more aggressive infrastructure, as we might have a Drop Overlord getting morphed in here for Solar. It certainly seems like he is setting up for this. But I think if herO wants to try and get damage done with the Blink, he might need at least 1 more Oracle, because a healthy number of +1 Lings is one of the answers to the style that herO is potentially going for here, and unless you have a lot of energy on these Oracles to assist, it can be a problem. And look at this now, Gemini. Solar actually going into the Spire on the back of this drop. There is a spotter pylon in the pocket expansion here for herO, so he shouldn't be caught completely unaware of this. He should have a couple seconds to react, but Solar might get some damage done.
Yeah, and the units are already out on the field for herO as well. The timing of this drop is hitting perfectly, and even a forward blink as well, as herO's trying to go aggressive at this point in time. And herO maybe was, okay, he did actually see it on the minimap. It looked like for a second he wasn't actually aware, but is fully aware that this drop is coming, so we'll be able to warp in back at home and be able to deal with this. Meanwhile, he is blinking across the cavern over on the right-hand side. We'll start to attack this base, and we'll be able to just kill it off very quickly. The Stalkers able to DPS that down very quickly.
Yeah, nice play there by herO. Just getting a freebie on the hatchery. Might lose 1 or 2 Stalkers in total, but a worthwhile trade for our Protoss player. And Solar, he's going to be double expanding now, taking the top left base as well as retaking this pocket expansion. Spire nearly done, and Solar has been baking a ton of gas during all of this. 1,300 gas and counting right now as the Spire finishes. A ton of mutas get started. It's fortuitous, some fortunate positioning here for herO with all these Lings trying to find some surface area on the Stalkers. This is going to force herO to actually push them back.
Yeah, but 13 mutas on the production, 15 mutas on the production tab with +1 as well. And I mean, herO has not gotten any wind that this is happening. There's just absolutely no idea. He's got a cannon randomly in his third base, kind of, but he doesn't look like he's super prepared for this at all. I mean, the Adepts are going to try to come on in here. They will actually get the scout on the mutas coming out. That's huge for him to make sure he gets that information. He's being aggressive with the Stalkers as well, so it's killed off one of these extra bases yet again. Phoenix is immediately in the production tab. Extra cannons also getting morphed on in. We might have to go into Phoenix range with this fleet beacon finishing up, as well as a second Stargate gets placed down. This is going to be really tough for herO. He's got to be very clinical in this defense.
Some Stalkers get recalled there from the front lines, and unfortunately the Oracles actually moved past them, so the Muta's able to isolate a ton of these Stalkers as well as these Zerglings. I think with one more blink, although it is on cooldown right now, herO should be able to save a good number of them, but at the cost of the Oracles, at the cost of I think at least one Phoenix, and that was a very expensive trade for our Protoss player. Solar now focus firing another Phoenix. He's trying to keep that count under control for as long as possible. Momentum growing right now for our Zerg player as Solar takes another base, the central expansion.
Yeah, Ling's moving over to the right-hand side as well, trying to see if they can get anything done on the right side on that third base, but for now we'll just kind of move back as the Mutas continue to shark around. Trying to get these Stalkers out of position is the play here for Solar, of course. The Phoenixes will be low in number as he was able to kill off quite a few of those, even going to be going into Corruptors. We saw Shin doing this yesterday to great success against Classic, so the Muta Corruptor style fully here in this match as well as the Mutas continue to pull these Stalkers left and right.
Double Phoenix production here for herO's. Phoenix range is nearing completion. About 15 seconds left on that. And for herO, he's just going to try and hunker down and hold these 4 bases that he's got with the pocket expansion now finishing up. The map control is firmly on the side of Solar, and it's going to be really hard to unseat that moving forward. It's all about the defense here for herO.
Yeah, Blink is over here as well for these Stalkers, and we also have the Phoenix range finished up for those Phoenixes, so that's going to be really key to be able to defend against this. I feel like herO overall has been a little bit better at defending this than Classic did yesterday. He had a little bit more of a heads up, and overall his build was lining up more nicely to be able to defend against this naturally. But another big hole in the wall, going back and forth here. Solar doesn't sure what he wants to do there, but the Lings will get on in, trying to kill off that Fleet Beacon, won't be able to do so. There's plenty of units here to defend, so herO's actually stabilizing pretty okay. I mean, the Phoenix range is online, and there's quite a few number of Phoenixes. There's a lot of Stalkers on the ground. These Mutas really aren't starting to find too much extra damage than what they initially did.
Yeah, the Phoenix count has been retained for the last couple of minutes, so we're going to see Solar actually changing geezer a little bit. He was throwing down a Hydraless stand that has now completed, starting the ranged upgrade on these Hydras. Because I don't think that Muta Corruptor is going to be cutting it here for Solar that much anymore, especially with the Stalker count as high as it is. It's not like Solar can dive and just take the fight to herO. herO's economy has been too big. He's been able to build a very healthy Stalker count, and that means that if he blinks forward and he snipes these Corruptors, which are very expensive to replace, the Phoenix are just going to feast on these Mutas. And I think we might be getting to the point where herO can just break out onto the map.
Okay, nice warp in there for herO, able to block that for the most part. Only losing, okay, never mind. 9 probes is actually a lot at the tail end right there. Unfortunately, now the Mutas somehow bypass the Phoenixes as well and get a total of 19 probes out of absolutely nowhere, but the defense here needs to be strong from Solar as well as the Blink Stalkers find their way across the map. Banelings being used defensively as the Hydras also spawn out at the perfect time. All the Mutas and Corruptors getting traded out, and the Phoenixes are there to defend. They could come to the front lines eventually as well, as they're also pretty decent against Hydras. Of course, Hydras being light units themselves, so there's still potential here for herO.
The Hydra count is quite low right now, but herO's got to be careful with these blinks. It's tough to get on top of this army, especially with +2 melee attack already done. Or would love to take out this expansion. Transfuse is coming in right now for Solar. Now herO moving forward. The Phoenixes, will he also blink forward to try and give them cover? No, it seems like instead the Phoenix is going to get slowly picked off here by the Hydras on the flank. It's a very close fight. I think that Solar with the drone pull should be able to stabilize, but there's more reinforcements coming here for herO.
Yeah, this is really down to the wire. A couple of Corruptors, of course, came back as well, but the Phoenix is still able to stay alive. They're giving out just that much extra DPS, wow. And there we go, lifting up some of these Hydras as well. This is looking like it's starting to snowball right now for herO. The upgrades really helping as well with this mostly Gateway army. 3 Hydras, 6 are the only thing that you have right now. The Zerglings aren't going to do anything in this defense either. This is really good for herO right now after losing so many probes. Just immediately sending it across the map and going for the big all-in play seems to be the correct choice.
I mean, this is a running theme in PBZ. If you're able to deal with the Muta Corruptor flock as well as herO did, usually the counterpunch is close to fatal, if not fatal. And herO, he is beginning to transition at least into a more refined army composition, but he got the damage done that he needed to. Solar was able to take down a lot of workers in the pocket expansion of herO and at the what was the third base with the Baneling run by. And herO needed to take down at least 1 base and kill some drones to even the odds, and he's done that. It's now 64 probes to 60 drones. Solar is reloading for 1 more Baneling run by, although herO has already parked his army by that 4th base. And I think for herO, once he's able to add in... Oh, these Zealots actually going to run into the Banelings. Oh,
Well,
yeah, well, I mean, that's one way to deal with them, I suppose.
That was an expensive way to deal with them, so a bit unfortunate, but maybe he won't be too sad. Of course, his economy is still intact, so that's still good, of course. And that's a lot of gas as well on those banelings. So Solar, I think both those players are not really that happy with that exchange. Storm is going to be coming up as well, and that's going to be critical, of course, to continue on in this game as herO, since the Hydra count is going to start to get pretty big. You do want to make sure you can get Storm out to be able to deal with them. But for now, if we can still just pick up a few of those with the Phoenixes, it's still going to be really good. Like I said, those Phoenixes are actually surprisingly good against Hydras once you have a good amount of them.
Yeah, especially rallying Hydras across the map. If Phoenix are able to isolate just one or two of them, they get one shot by Phoenix in these numbers. So herO trying to get the damage done that he can. And Solar has been basically forced into what is an all-in position. He hasn't made any more drones since that last attack at the central base. It's just been Hydralisks and Zerglings here for herO. And if Solar wants to make a timing attack work here versus the Protoss player, he's going to need a hit, I think, before the Mothership is done, because Storm is already finished. That makes things bad, but perhaps not impossible. But I think once you add Cloak and Time Warp into the equation, it will be very hard to break the position of herO, although similar to previous games in this series, I'm gearing up for Solar to throw an attack at herO, and herO is getting active on the map. He is looking for a fight.
Dude, he never wants to just sit there. He always wants these attacks as much as possible. Going in with the Storms now on the right-hand side, we'll be able to get a couple good connections, even going onto the drone lines. I mean, Solar just cannot engage into this location. It's such a small choke point. The Storms have been so good so far.
Excellent control there by herO, engaging, dropping down Storms, forcing Solar to chase into them, and then blinking back. As a result, a lot of these Hydras already deep into the orange HP, as Solar's going to be going for one more engagement, it looked like. But, I mean, the army of Solar is now so meager, it's really hard to kind of find the right angle. It feels like herO's just slowly whittling him down.
Yeah, this is so difficult. You can see the posturing from herO as well, knowing this position, just leading with those two Templar, just baiting Solar to try and come into this little location right here, making it very difficult. Actually snipes one of those Templar before they're able to get the Storm off. That was pretty sick, but there's still so much more where that came from, and herO has just got such a good army supply. His economy is totally untouched. The Mothership's going to be joining very soon as well. He's got Tempest coming out. This extra base is coming online. This game is all herO.
All right, Solar been trying to isolate his army here on the flank side, but Storms, they do so much damage to these Hydras and Lings, just chunking away at the HP. The Mothership has arrived here in the central too, and that might be really the battering ram that herO needs to actually break through this position. Solar going for one more engagement. Overseer is not yet done. He cannot see the Protoss army under the Mothership. Time Warp dropping down is going to zone away the Hydras. This hatchery absolutely getting taken out, and I do not see a way for Solar to clean up this army.
Yeah, this is looking really bad for Solar at this point. The Overseer's coming, but just a little bit too late, as the surprise of the Mothership cloaking has already done its damage, basically, forcing that base to get killed off. This one is also pretty much going to fall soon after, assuming that herO just wants to end this one, as the rest of his army does join on up, starts to lift up some more of those Hydras, and herO will be bringing us to a game number 5.
What a fun series between these two. We've had some really creative builds. We've had some back and forth games. We're going into a game number 5 in just a second. I have no idea who's going to take this.
Yeah, it's looking like it could be either player at this point, and I think this kind of is more to your analysis, State, where herO needed to adapt and just kind of play it a little bit more passively and just make sure that he was reading the game correctly and then just responding to what Solar was doing, and that showed him great success right there in that game. Sure, the Mutas were able to get a lot of damage done suddenly with that Baneling attack as well at the same time, but just being able to have such a good defense initially against the Mutas and Corruptors, was able to still swing it across the map with the counter damage and then just ride it out from there. So nice adaptability from herO yet again, just like his series versus Shin in the GSL finals.
Yeah, and I feel like also part of that for herO was the fact that the Muta transition came so late there for Solar. I mean, the Muta transition came online as herO was taking the 4th base at the Pocket expansion. And it was a healthy number of Mutas. It was like 14 or 15 in the very first flock. But the problem there for Solar is that the Protoss economy is already so big. It's pretty easy, especially if you're playing a Blinkstalker style like that one, to start to transition into a Muta defense style. It's not like herO is strapped for cash trying to fund 2 Stargate Phoenix and having to cut either static defense or cut Stalkers as a result. I mean, his economy, it wasn't golden by any means, but he certainly had enough to really muster the forces he needed to defend. And when you're in a position like that one as herO, after you're able to finally zone away the Mutas and Corruptors, you stop the bleeding, Well, suddenly, everything is in your favor because Solar's gone for this army, which is highly mobile, but is not very capable at taking a head-on engagement. And you can push across the map as Protoss. You can take down a base. You can take some favorable trades with the ground army of Zerg. That is what herO did, and he was able to leverage it into a win. But now we're going to go to Ruby Rock for set number 5. One of these players will be advancing into the upper bracket final. The other will fall to the lower bracket.
All right, we got herO on the top left-hand side and Solar over on the bottom right-hand side. I think one of the other very important things about that game as well is just how quick herO was able to transition into the Phoenix range, because he was already getting that fleet beacon before he even got the confirmation of the Mutas coming out. He was just going for the very fast fleet beacon for the fast mothership, which is something that he does like to do in this matchup to defend against that lair all-ins, just try to get that really fast mothership for the cloak and other utility. So he was already going for that, able to just immediately start up the Phoenix range when it finished as the Mutas were scouted. So that definitely helped to defend against that much better as well, compared to, for example, Classic yesterday, who really struggled against it versus Shin, since he did not have that same type of infrastructure, just wasn't going for that same type of build.
Yeah, they're different games, with the Shin Mutas coming online faster than the Solar Mutas in the previous game, but also on different maps. You know, on Celestial Enclave, you're able to take that 4th expansion, even though it only has 1 Vespene Geyser and it has less minerals than a typical expansion, it doesn't expand your footprint upon the map, which means that you don't really have any more areas you need to defend. Of course, you need to defend against drops and that sort of thing, but that's pretty easily done for the Protoss player. And so herO, you know, once you take that 4th base, that's really the last checkbox that you have before you need to start something like a mothership. I mean, we even had games from Zhao and GSLs in the past where he's gone into a 3-base mothership, but usually in modern PvZ, it's the 4th base. You know, you get that started, now you can go for the fleet beacon, now you can go for the mothership, you can start trickling out some Tempest. So really the stars kind of aligned there for a herO that was gearing up for a long macro game versus Solar. But Ruby Rock, it's a different map. If you want to take a 3rd and a 4th base, that's about as easy as it gets in terms of expansions. Taking a 5th expansion is very hard here as Protoss, but even taking a 4th base, there's no safe option, whether you're expanding linearly down the left side of the map or whether you're going for the more central expansion. There are a lot of pathways for Solar to try to traverse that he can use to get good surrounds on you, that he can use to try and break away your position. Now, let's see how herO plays this.
Yeah, definitely an aggressive map overall compared to some of the other ones, so we'll see how aggressive either player wants to be, as the Stargate will be coming down yet again from herO, as again, it's so rare that we ever see the fast Twilight builds anymore. You don't see those really fast Glaive Adept attacks. You don't see like DT drops or anything anymore. Pretty much every single game just comes out from the Stargate. You go Oracles, you go Void Rays, either of them will do, and then you go into some sort of Twilight tech after that. So I would be honestly blown away if herO decided to do anything else this series, so we'll just continue with that for now as the probe tries to get the information, try to deny this 3rd base for as long as possible, maybe tag it up with the Adept, but not quite able to deny it that long, as the Adept will now finally come on over and start to harass these Lings just a little bit.
Yeah, herO happy to trade out a little bit of whole HP on the Adept for some Zergling kills. He's able to pick off one of them. And yeah, it's a good point that you make about the Stargate being the first option here. Pretty much every single PvZ. It's just a matter of if you want to take a 3rd base as Protoss, there are so many early aggressive builds that Zerg can go for if you don't have Oracles. But you know, Hashtag Zergs famously, they don't have a lot of units that can shoot up. So you get an Oracle, you get a couple of Void Rays, something in the air, and you have sustained damage that can actually secure an expansion. By the way, herO actually shading both of these Adepts into the main base. I don't know if he's going to be able to find that many drones with this, but he is trading pretty favorably with these Lings.
Yeah, it's of course going to force a couple more Lings to be made in general, and also those ones that were already made. So it's some nice indirect damage there, as the Lings aren't going to do that much, but it's of course extra drones that weren't made, and now the Oracle even finding some extra damage as well. But unfortunate on that miss micro towards the end of that. Could have gotten maybe a couple extra. But still, 2 drones and a couple of Lings like that early on without losing. I think he only lost 1 Adept, right? It's honestly not bad. It's a good trade.
Yeah, only 1 Adept falling so far. 2 drones and 4 Zerglings in total. Going down here for Solar is herO with a reinforcing Oracle, able to keep that Adept alive a little bit longer, securing this 3rd base. We'll see where herO's going to go with this game. He's already shown a couple of different styles transitioning out of the Stargate, out of the 3rd base. Are we going to be seeing +1 Charge Zealots? Will we have Blink come through? Will it be Fast Templar again? There are a couple of different ways that you can play this, and I love herO just staying active with these Oracles and these Adepts. It feels like he's getting much more damage done in the early game than, frankly, he's gotten in any of these matches versus Solar so far.
Yeah, this is looking really good. Will it be able to deny a creep tumor as well? Just makes it more difficult to get the heads up on where these units are coming from in the early game. Gets an extra drone here and there as well. Shades right on out. So yeah, herO being very active with these early units and netting him lots of kills in ways that you don't normally see. So nice early game start here from herO. He's going to be feeling very comfortable.
Yeah, and I wonder how much this early damage is going to be changing the game plan here from herO. Because I'm sure that herO is loading into Ruby Rock with kind of an idea of where he wants to take the game. But this has been about as fortunate as an early game could possibly get here for Protoss. He's picked off a lot of drones in total with the Oracles, with the Adepts early on. He's taken out a lot of Lings. I mean, we're at 5 minutes, 30 seconds. Protoss is now secured at third base, and the worker counts are 53 to 50, and herO's going to catch more drones. I mean, the damage just keeps adding up. He might even be able to get 1 or 2 more here if he wants to trade out one of these Oracles. You know, it's always a bad feeling losing an Oracle, but honestly, the drone damage, yeah, just go for it, because the drone damage has already been so high that every subsequent drone loss, it feels like it's even more painful for Solar than the first couple. I mean, 12 drones have fallen.
Insane.
This is a great trade.
And 10 Lings. Yeah, that's crazy.
So I wonder if herO now, you get this much damage done, you might as well, in my opinion, just really start to ramp up the aggression. Just really lean heavily onto the Blink Stalkers. You don't need to try and play a very safe defensive macro game because Solar, he's only at 63 drones right now. If you keep the pressure on Solar, he's going to have a very hard time macroing up an army. I mean, the Adepts are once more in the third.
Yeah, he's just going balls to the wall at this point with this harass, and it's doing so well overall. Every single time you kill these early drones, it's forcing the Zerg to remake them, so it's taking them longer to get to the point where they want to then stop to then make extra units. But they're being forced to make all the units early, and so their economy doesn't actually get to flourish at the right time. So then you're able to snowball this as the Protoss to an eventual victory if everything goes the way that it should. So now with Blink about to finish, +1 also done as well, it's going to make this much more difficult now for Solar as the Oracle's still trying to find as much as they can as the Stasis will be able to get half a mineral line in the main as well. This is just looking so good every single time for herO.
It feels like the game is spiraling out of control right now for Solar. I mean, there's only 2 Oracles on the map, and one of them has been harassing the main base with Stasis wards, so it's really only 1 Oracle assisting the Stalkers here for herO, and you might think that might be good for Solar because suddenly the Lings can get a surround, but it's a roach-based composition. You can't actually get the meaningful surround on this Stalker ball. And herO is just really leveraging the power of his economy with all these Stalker Warpins. I mean, we do have a Fleet Beacon transition behind this, but so much of the game plan here for herO is just chipping away at Solar's army now with Stalkers because he knows that he has Solar in really dire straits.
Yeah, this is this trademark herO play of going for this super fast Fleet Beacon. Yet again, just getting that mothership, it really just makes it so difficult for the Zerg to go for these early attacks. And then he goes into that 4th base as well, so we'll be able to get that eventually, knowing the situation that he's in. I mean, Solar's still got a good amount, of course. His army is still very large. He's cut drones completely at 68, now at both with 67 workers of each, very nice, and will be able to kill off this base on the right-hand side and then blink on out, but the army from Solar still is very large, very threatening. herO needs to be a little bit careful that a counterattack doesn't do a little bit too much damage.
Yeah, but again, it's a roach-based army, and so it doesn't have the mobility to actually chase down this Stalker ball. That's why herO can blink forward, snipe a hatchery, lose a couple of Stalkers on the retreat, but mostly get away unscathed. And with a mothership coming in right now as well, I know that Solar is adding Hydras into this composition, but doing that on the back of a 3-base economy against a herO who will soon be on 4 bases. Oh, it's not looking good right now for Solar. He's going to need to take some very good fights, perhaps catch herO getting a little bit overeager with these Stalkers if he wants to get back in this game.
Yeah, I mean, just the mobility from herO right now is so strong, and also killing off all those creep tumors earlier on in the game with the Oracles is really helping this as well, and you're continuing to do that. You just saw it again. You did another revelation to kill another one. You're able to get so much leverage on the map if you can deny the creep. He's just blinking all over the place, rotating left and right, making it so difficult for Solar to actually get in the right position, to know where these attacks are even coming from. The creep, a lot of times, is what allows the Zerg to be able to respond so well to a lot of the Protoss attacks, but he's just not really able to do that. He's losing bases on the left, he's losing bases on the right earlier as well, and now we've got the Tempest fully coming on, and the Mothership's about to finish up. +3 is started as well for herO. Like, this is going so well for herO overall in this game, and he's feeling in total control.
Could we get a shot of the army values right now? Because it feels like herO's just been building such a valuable army. I mean, look at that, 1,400 more minerals, a lot more gas too. The army supplies, they are very even. In fact, Solar up 20 army supply right now over herO, but herO's army is just much more refined, higher tech, better upgraded. And I like this from Solar. He's going to go for a little bit of a curveball play, coming in with a Zergling drop here in the main base. He's got to do something to set herO off balance, because if herO just keeps chipping away at the army like this, oh, herO actually blinking forward on top of the Hydras and Roaches. There were enough Zealots there on the front line that herO felt confident to get in range, especially with the safety of the mothership. There is no detection for Solar again.
Wow, just really not expecting these fast motherships as Solar, as the Overseers yet again just a few seconds too late, so the extra burst damage from that fast cloak is able to pay off, kills off a base again, and then is able to blink away to safety. The drop in the main base wasn't able to do all that much, but actually it looks like the Hydras will get on top of that mothership and barely kill it off at the last second, so that's still a nice trade there back for Solar just a little bit. Of course, he's lost so much, so he needs to really get a lot of damage on a counterattack right now, but getting the mothership is a nice first step. It's still going to be very difficult to actually send this one home, though.
I mean, this is the moment for Solar to get something done. We don't have any splash damage here for herO. He cannot warp in Templar and recharge them for Storm. There's no Storm even research. No Templar Archives even built for herO, because he was trying to play this game where he trades constantly with the Zerg, where he capitalizes on the Zerg's really poor economy early on. And Mapu did correct me, we do have a Templar Archives. I'm not sure if we have Storm out just yet. It really is just a basic gateway army, and Solar doing a great job capitalizing on herO, blinking forward like that. Solar right now with a Hydra Ball. This is the army that has more DPS. It is Solar's now. herO's the one with mobility, but can he actually utilize that to keep Solar on his side of the map?
For now, it looks like Solar is respecting that and will just be staying between these two bases. Of course, needs to make sure he can recover some of that economy, because look at that income graph. herO has been ahead for so long at this point. Solar's trying to get some Corruptors out right now, because of course the Tempests are going to be very threatening. If he's not able to actually get on top of them, they're just going to be able to chip away little by little. They don't do insane DPS, but it's still something that always is attacking you, and you just have to be able to deal with it in some way. And herO even finding this base over in the middle right now, he's going to be able to rotate, just attack it from the other side, and the drones will not be able to stay alive. They're going to be forced to retreat, or they're going to get killed off as Solar puts them back for just a moment there. So again, the economy for Solar is just in the dumps.
Yeah, but this is a tricky position right now for herO. He's worked himself into a corner. Might need to blink and recall to get out of here, and I don't know if the Tempest can actually retreat. Solar collapsing on this position. There's the recall, but it's only about half of the Protoss army. Oh, Solar, he is starting to turn this game around. It began with the first attack with herO at the third base. Able to win a trade as herO blinked forward aggressively, and now able to take out a lot more of the Protoss army. Is it going to be enough, though? herO, he's going for another counterattack. Coming in with a lot of charge zealots, trying to get some more damage done. The Templar Archives fell. I'm not even sure if Storm finished recalling, but now we have a War Prism in the main base. There's a skirmish in the center of the map. There is action everywhere. No Storm.
Yeah, this is getting really scrappy right now for both players. They're trying to find any sort of distraction that they can. Of course, herO losing a lot of stuff on the top right-hand side, instantly warping in on the bottom left and sending things to that base on the bottom side. Able to keep Solar on his side of the map for now. Even tried to keep some of these Tempests alive, and we'll be able to do that as well with some reinforcing Blink Stalkers. So nice for herO to be able to keep some of these units alive, but now the big army from Solar has found some room to move to the bottom left. And again, no Storm. That was denied initially, and that's going to make this defense much more difficult.
Oh man, a Solar, he's turning this game around, Gemini. I can't believe it. He's going to take down this base in the bottom left. I don't know if herO thought that Storm was done, but it wasn't. Researching at the Templar Archives. There's no splash damage still for herO. Solar pushing in to the third base after taking out the fourth. herO relying right now on Stalkers and Immortals to defend, but that is not good against the Hydraless composition of Solar.
Yeah, this is actually crazy that Solar's been able to find a way back in this game, killing 25 probes and even taking a favorable trade right now, killing Templar Archives yet again, so still none being warped in at this point. The units just getting killed off one by one right now from Solar. The reinforcements actually doing it. He's only got +2 upgrades compared to the incredible upgrades of herO as well, but he's still finding these engagements, and now his economy is even going to be ahead of herO's as well. A forward blink by herO trying to kill off some of these extra units, and will eventually be able to kill some of these, but the Tempest dying in the air as well. I mean, herO's now down to 80 supply.
herO suffered so many losses. I'm not sure that his economy can really support a transition into splash damage. Again, Storm is not researched. We have 8 sentries warping in for herO because really there's no better way to spend the money. There's no minerals. Even the third base is halfway mined out for herO. He desperately needs a 4th expansion. Meanwhile, Solar on his side of the map, he's re-expanding to the triangle base. He's taken or resaturated his top right expansion as well. I think Solar might be turning this one around, but herO, he's got 1 or 2 last attacks in him. Can he make this work? It's a ton of sentries. Solar, I don't think we have Ravagers. I mean, this is like a Soul Train army right now. It's a blast from the past.
Yeah, we got Shades of Wings of Liberty coming out right now at minute 15 in this PVZ in 2026. I have not seen this in quite a hot minute, but we're going to see how much this can do as heroes. Of course, this is basically going to be one of his last hurrahs. He's barely mining off of these 3 bases. A couple Lings will also try to find their way in here to disrupt that economy even further. And now herO continuing this march over on the right-hand side. There are a few Ravagers now being desperately morphed in from Solar to try and kill off these force fields when they get placed, but there's not going to be that many biles, and there's still going to be a lot of force fields, so there's still a moment here where maybe herO can out-micro this.
What year is this? Look at this fight taking place. So many force fields drop down. Unfortunately for herO, no energy left on those sentries. They do get traded out with a lot of Hydras, though. Now the drone's getting pulled. herO's army cannot dispatch of drones very quickly. It's very burst damage focused with the Stalkers and the Immortals. So herO backing off for now. Going to be taking 1 minute before going in again.
He's not got that much economy as well, so of course you can't really warp in too much. Probes even getting pulled across the map just to try and clinch this, basically. herO realizing that he's got to go fully all in this position. More sentries and stalkers getting warped in just to try and make this as good as possible, using the micro potential and the utility of these units to try and bring this one home for herO in game number 5. As the probes now have brought their way into the front. The drones also being moved from Solar. Every last unit is being used in this final fight.
All right, herO has to utilize the survivability of the Blink Stalkers if he wants to win the trade here. You got to dodge the biles, blink all of these Stalkers back, trying to deal with the pressure coming out from Solar. I mean, herO keeps attacking in. The sentries, the force field's able to isolate more Hydralisks here. The drones once more getting pulled.
No way.
So many of herO's Stalkers are deep in the red. The DPS of Solar, those Hydras, they're trying to chip away, but the Immortals, they are standing so strong. There's basically no army value left.
Oh my god,
for Solar.
The barriers on the Immortals trigger again, so they stay alive in the last second. He's able to kill the base. The micro ability of these units is so strong. Both players now down to 40 workers apiece, and the upgrades really singing true right now for herO. +3 attack, +1 shield, only +2 attack for Solar. This is getting so scrappy, and to the point where now herO has an opportunity to again bring this back into his favor. This game has been just on a knife's edge for the last like 10 minutes, I feel like. This has just been an absolutely ridiculous game, and I really don't know who's even going to win at this point.
Oh, it's been an absolutely crazy game number 5. As we take inventory of the minerals here, very few resources left. And all the expansions of herO, the main, there's only 135 minerals left in one lone patch, so herO instead focusing on distance mining from this expansion. And even throwing down a Nexus at this point is kind of a risky maneuver here for herO. I mean, 400 minerals is a lot, and I think this is brilliant.
That's sick.
Motherships are so good in these kind of scrappy situations right now, as well as a Warp Prism, although it does get sniped. And these 4 Stalkers is trying to find any sort of value. Every unit is crucial in a moment like this. When a Stalker falling like that is going to have repercussions later in this game. But herO, even though he lost the Warp Prism, lost the Stalker, he was able to pull Solar down to the south side, and that means that herO can snipe the hatchery in progress.
Yeah, that's a very nice pickoff there for herO, making the best of what this situation has lended to him. And of course, that mothership is going to be key if it does get out, and it looks like it probably will. Solar's not trying to force the issue at this point. He's just trying to recover right now. He's trying to get into a situation where he can just get enough units out. He thinks that he's got herO down into a situation where he should eventually out-macro him a little bit more, get a couple extra bases. He knows that herO's sitting here just on this 3, and it's going to be really outmined very soon here.
There's no Overseer on the map right now for Solar. I don't think that he's going to be expecting the mothership to come in.
No, of course not.
Again? Well, you got to be careful with these Hydras. If they get isolated by the Stalkers, it could be really deadly here for Solar. Already a lot of them getting chipped off. He sees the mothership. This should give Solar time to get a couple of Overseers on the map, but was he really watching? There's no Overseer started just yet. I think he was focused on microing the army to try and catch the Stalkers on the top side. Oh, this cloak could be huge here for herO. Mothership slightly lagging behind the army right now. Solar with no detection.
Oh my God,
He's
and the force fields! And the time warp as well. Oh my God, what a swing right now for herO. He's actually making this happen. The mothership was not scouted, was not seen. There was nothing here for Solar, no overseers. The probes getting pulled yet again. herO is finding a way back into this game number 5.
Oh, the mothership timing, so clutch here for herO. He was able to pick off so many units with those force fields because the overseers were not present on the map. And now herO pushing for the win. All the probes are getting pulled. All the drones are getting pulled. It's going to be one last stand. herO just waiting for the right moment. Cloak, it's about 3/4 done. Time warp also nearly available. There's no rush for either side, but herO says, screw it, let's go in right now. Guardian Shield is gonna pop. Mothership not able to cast just yet, but I think herO might just have enough muscle on the ground that he can push through. Still, Solar standing strong. There's the Cloak. We have a detection right there where the Overseer gets sniped. The Stalkers blink forward, they snipe the Overseer. Solar can see nothing.
This is going crazy for herO right now. I mean, the mothership is providing so much utility. It's providing so much staying power for this army when really everything was lost for herO. He's found a way back in this game. Solar trying to get anything reinforcing. He's got just little couple units just out of nowhere, just from the right-hand side, not actually doing anything. Another snipe on that Overseer. Solar is down to 37 supply, and herO is still managing to get a few more units out. This is looking hopeless right now for Solar, I feel like.
Oh, the mothership still standing strong. The Stalker count is so low. herO, he's going to blink back. He's going to pivot down towards the 6 o'clock base. That is the next target. He's already taken down the triangle expansion. If he's able to take out this hatchery, that will be the final nail in the coffin here for Solar. And herO, he smells blood in the water. He's charging forward. GG and a fist pump by herO.
God.
He's going to take this series 3-2 and move on to the upper bracket finals. And that was one of the best PvZs that we've had all year.
Dude, I love it when force fields find a way to come back in this matchup. They've been kind of useless for so long. You just don't really see this anymore. Of course, the Ravager has kind of made them pretty much useless overall. Sentries used to be such a linchpin of the early game Protoss arsenal against all races, but a lot of times Zerg as well. And you just don't really see it as much. It's a skill that doesn't really seem to come out as much. You see like kind of newer players as well that come to the game. It's just they're not so used to playing with this unit as much. It's so cool when it comes down to a scrappy situation like that, and the force fields are the thing that actually win herO the game in all of those final engagements. Ever since that first time he warped in all those, like, what, 8 sentries or something like that in that late game scenario, those were what was actually turning the tide in every single fight. That was incredible. Panic management, I don't know, just incredible chaos control, I guess, from herO. Just everything going his favor once it got to that point.
And the crisis control from herO was absolutely insane. And honestly, I have to give props to Solar too. He was basically down and out, it felt like, in the mid-game. So many drones fell, so many of the trades were in herO's favor. For Solar to be able to really just catch these very small armies, these fractioned armies of herO that were trying to pick off hatcheries, trying to take favorable trades in corners of the map. Solar was able to claw his way back into that game and deliver one of the most epic PvZ matches that we've seen all year. But herO, he is the victor. He's going to be advancing into the upper bracket finals that will be played on May 30th. So he awaits the winner of Clem versus Lambo, and Solar falls to the lower bracket where he will be facing Rogue in a ZVZ. That's going to be a really fun series. Solar, a couple of years ago, was, in my opinion, the best ZVZ player in the world, maybe the best ZVZ player StarCraft 2 has ever seen. He had a stretch of like 6 to 10 months where I think he was winning 90% plus of his ZVZs. It was otherworldly. So Solar, a specialist in that matchup, but you know, Rogue, he has been looking so good lately. It's rare that I feel excited for a ZVZ, but let me tell you, Gemini, I'm excited about that ZVZ.
So true, State, so true. Anyways, go ahead and check us out on YouTube, all you guys. It's been great to get this YouTube going, but we still need some more help. There's also this new hype feature that's available on the mobile app as well. If you go down to the comment section where that is, you swipe to the side, you'll be able to hype the video, and that helps us out in the algorithm a little bit. So please make sure you go ahead and check that on out if you can. It helps us out a lot, gets our discoverability up, and lets more awesome StarCraft 2 fans know about this super sick tournament and all those crazy games, just like what you just watched right there.
Anyway, guys, we got to take a break. My heart rate is through the roof right now after that last series. In a little bit, Clem versus Lambo playing a best of 5 will be coming up. We'll see you soon.
Hey guys, Tasteless here. I wanted to show you our Terran set for the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game. You can see we've got all the pieces assembled here. It comes with 12 Marines, 3 medics, 2 marauders, 1 sentry drone, and then the final piece is Jim Raynor here. Each Marine in the set has a unique loadout. Over here, you have the Raiders version of the Marines, each one with a rifle and a bayonet attached. But honestly, these look incredible. The amount of detail is insane. Like we've said before, these look exactly like what you see in the cinematics for StarCraft 2. Now, it's important to remember, as amazing as this looks, this is more than just a bunch of cool figurines. This is actually a game. Each figurine comes with a corresponding card. So this is Jim Raynor, and you can see on the card his different attributes listed, what he's able to do, and this is what you'd be using when you're actually playing against your friends. So just like in the game, you're able to get different upgrades for each of the units. So for the Marine, if you flip the card around, you can see you can go for combat shields, grenades, or other various upgrades, which are going to change the whole experience of what you're having when you're playing the game. When a game starts, you get minerals and Vespian gas. The units cost minerals, the tactical cards cost Vespian gas. Take a tactical card, flip it over, you'll see exactly what abilities that tactical card gives you. In order to get started, go to the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game website. There you can find the game rules, but also the army builder. From there, you pick a faction, how many minerals and Vespian gas you get. You spend those minerals and Vespian gas to unlock units and tactical cards. And from there, you're ready to go. For more information, sign up for the newsletter on Archon Studios' StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game website. Check it out.
No CC first, going to be a...
Welcome back, everybody, to the RSL. I'm going to be honest, I'm still catching my breath after that last series between herO and Solar, but we're getting ready to start the second best of 5 of the evening. It's going to be Clem versus Lambo coming to you in a best of 5 TVZ. This is going to be a fun one.
Now, State, I have a very important question for you. Are you a Clem fan? Do you think he's going to bring this home? Or are you someone that thinks Lambo could do it? What do you think?
Let me tell you, Gemini, I'm a Lamb believer. I think Lambo's going to take this thing down. Lambo's one of the smartest players that we've got. I know that Clem is basically de facto the best Terran player in the world. It's either him or Mario on any given day, right? But I mean, Lambo, he is so smart. I've even been catching Lambo playing on stream quite a bit recently. He was running a gauntlet with, I think it was Classic like 2 days ago. Classic was streaming. He's great, man. I love to watch him play. He's got a very unique perspective on the game. He's really good, especially with his spellcaster control. I think better than many other Zergs in the late game. Maybe besides Seoul, he might be the best around. And so I want to see where this one's going to go. And Clem, I think undoubtedly is going to be the favorite here, but Lambo, I believe, absolutely has what it takes to bring it home.
Let's go, the Lambo-lievers! We are going into this one. Lambo versus Clem on 10,000 feet. Who is it going to be moving on to meet against herO? Let's find out.
All right, Clem spawning in the top left is the blue Protoss. Lambo down in the bottom right as the red Zerg. We have a very early drone move out here by Lambo. Could this be a proxy hatch angle?
Looks like it, unless he wants to just make a gas geyser for some reason. I think it's going to be a little old proxy hatch coming out of Lambo right and early in this series. Very loved. Very nice to see. I love to see it. I combine those two phrases. So yeah, this one will be very cool to see if it will actually work out. We've been seeing a lot of these proxy hatches out of these Zergs lately, and all these matchups, I feel like. It's been really cool to see.
Shin advanced from a GSL group, and I asked him to kind of explain the logic behind a lot of these proxy hatches to me, because I know there's an opportunity cost for the Terran, there's no really good option. They either have to pull SCVs and lose mining time to take down the hatchery, or they have to churn out some units from the barracks and have a delayed expansion. It feels like it's a math problem that's worded just right to mess with my brain. Because it's also very expensive here for Lambo, right? I mean, this is a very early drone moving out on the map. That drone is gone. It is now a hatchery. That's a lot of resources invested. And I asked Shin, he talked about it specifically in that game, how he regretted going for the play, how he didn't think it was worth it. But I don't know in what situations this is good and what situations this is bad. It's something I'm really struggling to kind of wrap my head around in ZBT.
Yeah, my poor Protoss brain cannot quite comprehend the levels of strategy that this does unfold here. So we'll see exactly what this favors here. Clem seems to be thinking very heavily right now, giving a very ponderous philosophical reaction there to what this is, the strategy here. And the spine crawler is also being made outside of vision of that bunker. Will the Reaper actually go down deep enough to actually see this? No, the Lings will actually delay that for now. So those Spine Crawlers still a mystery to Clem.
Yeah, Clem likely going to find it. Okay, he now sees the spines. Clem realizing the severity of the situation. This is not a macro hatch block with a transition coming out from Lambo. This is a committed timing attack as Lings are streaming across the map already. A ton of them are here on the front lines. The bunker is done. There might be an angle where the Spine Crawlers can actually attack into that bunker, and the bunker cannot fight back, even though it only has one Marine on it. See what's going to happen now. And Lambo, actually, forget about that. He is not about taking this fight slowly. He's going to push all the way up the ramp right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, some of those Lings were actually attacking the bunker, so unable to go all in with everything, but now we'll try to get right on top of this bunker on the high ground. There is one on the left-hand side, so we'll be able to retreat to that if Clem needs to, but for now, he is still controlling this high ground pretty decently, but the Spine Crawlers are going to be the thing that's going to make it very difficult over time to be able to keep this position.
Spine Crawler going to get to work on that supply depot. Unfortunately, Clem, with the command center done, Lambo's going to have a hard time supply blocking him as another bunker's going to be finishing up. There's nothing in it just yet, but it's important to Clem to keep this alive with a repair. Honestly, it's been an ironclad defense so far by Clem. Lambo's continuing to churn out Zerglings, but he's hardly even replacing the ones that he's losing on the front lines, and Clem just keeps getting stronger.
Yeah, the repair is very good as well. That one bunker finishing and then just able to repair it right on up, even though there wasn't really too much in it. Just keeping these things alive, like you said, is going to be very difficult for Lambo to actually bust on through. A couple of transfuses being used to keep these spines alive as well. The Lings will actually deny those SCVs the surface area, so we'll be able to kill one of these bunkers, but there is still another one on the right-hand side. A Queen dying in that exchange, as well as a Creep Tumor tries to get placed on the high ground to continue this aggression, but unable to keep that alive. A nice focus fire from Clem, but still Lambo trying to continue with this, bringing the Spine Crawlers to the top.
Oh, the supply, or the SCV's trying to come in and get the surface area on the bunker. It seems like it will be enough here for Clem. Spine Crawlers, they are getting some damage done. Focus firing down the Marines there on the back line, but the bunker, I mean, the repair is just too much. Queen's low on HP as well. Nice focus fire with the bunker there by Clem.
Oh, God.
Able to take that down. More Lings coming in. Is there a world where Lambo's actually able to keep moving forward with this? There's one more bunker left.
Every time he kills one, another one's just right there waiting.
Yeah,
it's like it feels like you're getting so much damage, and it feels like you're getting so much real estate at the top of this ramp. But there's just another bunker on the back line, then a tank spawning as well. The tank basically seals this. I feel like, how are you ever going to go up this ramp anymore with that tank sitting there? Going to be able to get some more stuff out as well. The Reaper finding some more information on the bottom right-hand side. Actually, the fact that that's even alive at this point is pretty crazy. We'll be able to send it right across the map, but there's going to be basically nothing to defend until that Queen gets out.
There's nothing really worth defending right now here for Lambo. He's at 13 drones in total, completely all in. It's all about him just trying to bust down the front door of Clem, really. And here we go. It's like round 3 or 4, whatever it is now. Spine Crawler moving up the ramp. The siege tank just absolutely decking it there. As the Spine Crawler gets taken out, more Lings flooding out into the main base, but the defense just a little bit too sturdy there for Clem, and Clem's going to take game number 1.
Yeah, I love the idea from Lambo. It looked like it had a couple moments there where he might have been able to bust on through, but the bunker repair just a little bit too strong. The defense from Clem really well-rounded, and it seemed like he just had the perfect answer to this actual build. Whether or not he's like faced against this exact style before, I'm not exactly sure, but it felt like he's just fully experienced in this particular defense.
I was pretty impressed with Lambo pushing up to the main base because I was kind of deterministic about how fast that would be petering out after Clem was able to stabilize there at the top. He had like, what, 2 bunkers already done close to the barracks at the ramp. Yeah. I thought the rush was effectively over. Like, okay, Lambo, you might be able to chip away at the supply depots at the front. You might be able to get a little bit of damage on the bunkers, but realistically, what can you do? Lambo actually made a pretty good run of it. You know, Clem, up until that siege tank was out, was actually quite close. So a good showing there by Lambo and kind of an unorthodox build there in game number 1. Let's see what's going to happen in game number 2. Map is loading in. It's going to be missing you today. Clem leading this series 1-0, and I'm so curious now, Gemini, what Lambo's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like he's going to have to reach into the bag of tricks pretty heavily right now to find some games in this series. This is kind of what the other series went, how the other series went in the group stage as well. It was Lambo trying to just bring out some really aggressive styles, trying to throw Clem off, and this is also kind of how Lambo got here in the first place. I mean, being able to beat Bunny as well with some of these crazy tactics. Cure, I think, is who he was able to knock out in the group stage to get here, I believe. So, yeah, it's been a lot of early aggression from Lambo, so we'll see if he's got something else cooked up. I'm sure he does. let's continue to be Lambo-leavers.
Yeah, Lambo, he's one of the smartest Zerg players around. I love to discuss the game with him, or even just hear his thoughts on the game if he's casting or if he's analyzing, because he has such an insightful perspective. And it's fun whenever you see a really smart player play the game, because sometimes their games just look completely alien to everything that you're expecting. Like that game number 1 with Clem, right? With the Spine Crawler rush there, at a very peculiar place hatchery, the natural expansion there of Clem. But so far here in game number 2, looking to be much more standard fare.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing absolutely ridiculous coming out of Lambo in the first few minutes here. But something else that he did like to do in those earlier ZVT series was go for the 2-base lair and the Roach Ravager styles as well. Something that a lot of Zergs have been doing lately, and Lambo found great success from that against the other Terrans of the tournament. So I would not be surprised if he tries to bring some of that out. And he was also very close to beating Clem in his series. I believe it was on this map as well. With that build, was able to... Actually, no, sorry, it wasn't. I don't think it was this map. But anyways, not really that important. But it was basically like a single set of biles that totally lost him the game, essentially. A single set of biles did not actually connect to the tank on the high ground right at the start of the attack. And so the tank got a couple extra shots off, and eventually Clem was able to hold. But it was a very, very close hold. And if he had gotten that bile correctly, could have actually ended the game for him. But so yeah, we'll see if Lambo wants to bring something like that out again. As it is something that he's very comfortable with.
I mean, Lambo's had some spectacular ZVT games already here in the RSL, able to take down Cure, who had a top 4 finish at the GSL, able to take down Bonnie in round 1 of the RSL playoffs. He's running the gauntlet right now in ZVT, because now he's got to go up against Clem here, already down 0-1 in this best-of-5 series. Let's see what he's able to do. I like that this is shaping up for more of a macro game between these two, because I really want to see what Lambo's going to try and get done.
Reaper's trying to find whatever it can. Actually does get a drone, as they do get a little bit jumbled up there at the bottom of the mineral line. So a nice little catch there for Clem. Not usually what you're able to get there as the Reaper. And he's going to try to dart in for a little bit more, coming in from a unsuspected left-hand side. Wow, kills the Creep Tumor as well and gets on out. Look at this guy. He's so clean with it. Unbelievable.
Clem is just so good. Consistently able to get more value, it feels like, with the Reaper than basically anybody else. A drone and a Creep Tumor this early on. It's surprisingly expensive for the Zerg to be losing that 25 energy on the Queen, that early drone. It's Clem now spotting the 3rd base timing. He is building up at home. It looks like it's going to be a Banshee, a Hellion Banshee opening here for Clem, about as standard as it gets. And Lambo's just trying to stabilize. He's trying to deal with the harassment coming in from the Reaper, trying to connect the creep between the natural expansion and the 3rd base, and just really start to saturate these bases, because Zergling speed, it's still a little while away. If we're going to have a Zergling flood come in, it might be after, the next couple of injects are going to pop and these Overlords are done. Because, Lambo does spawn at the natural expansion there of Clem. There is no wall in just yet, but 3 more drones getting started.
Reaper's still trying to find whatever it can, but the Queens are out in number, so we'll be able to keep this away for the most part, as the Hellions are now the next step from Clem to see what they can do to, again, clear up some of this creep and potentially go for a deep dive onto some of the drones, as the Cloak Banshee follow-up will be joining that very soon as well. I feel like if you do go for the Cloak, you're generally trying to be, a little bit more aggressive with it, of course, since you're investing so much into that extra tech. So we'll see how aggressive exactly he wants to go with this. Nice little Evo block on the drones there, so won't lose anything on that part. So yeah, we'll see if we can get more from Clem in just a little bit here.
Yeah, Lambo pretty quick with the Evolution Chamber drop right there. Able to prevent the Hellions and the Reaper from diving on that mineral line, as Clem is going to pivot down towards the natural expansion ramp. But once more, getting parried by the defense of Lambo. And Lambo's been able to secure a pretty sizable drone lead here, despite the 3 fast CCs coming in by Clem. Partly just because Lambo, after losing that very first drone, has not lost anything else. And he's also been doing this with a pretty low Zergling count, too. It's really just Lambo relying on the positioning of his Queens to deflect this harassment from Clem.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job of that as well. I mean, he's got these 2 Queens on the left-hand side. That one little ramp right there is very easy to block with just a few of them, and then you got the 3 on the right-hand side as well. So very nice management from Lambo overall on this Queen defense of the Hellions. Of course, the Banshees should be finding their way across the map very soon. In fact, there's already one at the 4th base here. So we'll start to DPS that down and force some Queens to reposition over there, which will, of course, give more opportunities for the Hellions to try and do a dive if they find the opportunity.
Yeah, Lair not just done. Okay, finally now finishing in. So Overseer will be able to morph in. I think this means that Lambo should be able to save this space despite the 2 Banshees, but it will be pretty close. This is actually going to be a canceled hatch. There's some more room to micro, and Clem going to try and use this diversion of attention here on Lambo. Try and get some damage done with the Hellions and the Reapers. Hatch gets canceled. That's a painful loss here for Lambo.
He really waited a long time to get that cancel as well, so it was really kind of one of the last-second things. So lots of wasted time right there on that 4th base as Clem continues to try and dart around and find an opening. Will be able to do so in the natural, get a couple of drones, or sorry, that's the 3rd base. Gets a couple of drones over there. Wasn't able to get too much extra, but still, all this little bits of damage is going to start to add up if Clem continues with this trajectory.
Yeah, Clem getting some favorable trades right now, being able to pick off that hatchery, warping in there, this clock position, able to take a couple more drones. Meanwhile, Clem on his side of the map, safely macroing up to this 3rd base. And Lambo, double evolution chamber upgrades now coming in, melee and carapace. We have a Hydralistan also being thrown down here by the Zerg. So going to be a Hydra-Ling, Baneling style coming in from Lambo, and oftentimes when you see this played in the GSL, it's more of a defensive setup that the Zerg is going for. The Hydralists are allowing the Zerg player to actually take down everything that's going to be the Medivacs. It prevents some of this more offensive dropship play that we sometimes see Terran players try and execute here in the mid-game. But I wonder with the +1 melee and the +1 carapace, how much of this is just going to be Ling, Baneling, and how much of it is going to be actually setting up for potentially a Hive transition into Ultras.
I wouldn't mind almost getting the juiciest shot of all time as Lambo almost mispositioned there, but will not be able to do that. So nice defense so far for Lambo, using that Queen to face tank a couple of those Widow Mines and force the bio back. So the initial drop harass not able to do too much right now as the Hydras start to come on out for Lambo as well. And Clem just continues to shark around the map, of course. He's kind of waiting with the next set of reinforcements in the natural right there, so we'll send those out eventually, but just wants to clear out as much creep as possible to set up an eventual further attack. It's also interesting how mine-heavy he's gone. Of course, he's seen the very Ling Bane heavy style. It's not going to be roaches or anything like that, so he's going to be going for that. Nice little focus fire there as well by Clem on a couple of those Banelings, as the rest of the army does start to move on the left-hand side.
With Overlord speed finishing up here for Lambo, I wonder if he might try and get aggressive after repelling one of these attacks. We couldn't have Banelings running into the 3rd base. We could have drops eventually here in the main base with the natural expansion, but instead the focus for now is going to be Clem trying to attack down into this 4th expansion. Half the army here for Clem is occupying the ramp. The rest is on the low ground right now. Some well-positioned Widow Mines as well. And okay, Clem is going to see the Banelings here running into the 3rd base.
Yeah, nice reaction. If he was even just a second too slow on that, that would have been huge. But actually, the distraction is enough as the Banelings connect with the Marines extremely well. Lambo able to take a great fight right there. A bit of an uncharacteristic mistake from Clem. Normally, his multitasking is really some of the best in the business. You can see he's really frustrated with that, shaking his head in the webcam as well, as he's someone that's usually used to just being able to micro on both fronts very easily. So a big window there for Lambo, taking advantage of.
Excellent moment for Lambo as he is setting up for another counterattack at the 12 o'clock position. Lings and Banelings. Banshee will spot this, so Clem is aware of this coming in. We'll see if he's able to hold on to that 3rd expansion. Clem continuing to try and pressure towards the 3rd base of Lambo, cleaning up the creep right now. The scan does drop. Lambo just in a fantastic position. Actually, the attack that was going to be going at the 12 o'clock place is coming down instead here for a surround. Not everything is able to get picked up there by the Medivacs. A couple of losses for Clem, but he's able to escape mostly unscathed.
Yeah, that Widowmine shot was actually insane onto all those Zerglings, but a great flank set up there from Lambo. Will be able to dislodge that position, but like you said, not too much losses overall from Clem, so it's not the worst thing in the world, just loses the position on the map. But this is a great move here from Lambo overall. I feel like he's really gotten some nice tempo in this game compared to the early game. But even, I mean, actually, I guess even with the early game, I feel like he did kind of defend the Hellions pretty well. The Banshees, besides canceling that 4th base, didn't do all that much crazy damage. So this has been pretty good from Lambo. I mean, considering the fact that he's going against Clem as well. So this is definitely the best we've seen him in either of the 2 series that he's played against Clem this RSL. So yeah, I'm very liking this position right now for Lambo.
Lambo's playing an excellent defensive macro game right now as the Hive is about halfway done. Lambo expanding all the way to the top right corner of the map. As he tests the waters here in front of the 4th base of Clem, forcing another liftoff This planetary not yet morphed in. Yeah, Clem going to wisely lift that up and try to escape. And Lambo going for the trade right now. There aren't enough Liberators to actually usher Lambo away. And Lambo attacking into the third base at the same time. Was wondering for a moment if he might try and sandwich that Terran army, but instead, Lambo, thinking he's already got the damage that he needs done, is going to back up for now. We have Lunge getting research on the Hydralisk. A lot of these Hive Tech upgrades soon to be coming online.
Yeah, that position on the right-hand side at that third base, that one forward barracks, all of the Lings and Banes got funneled into that tiny little choke point next to the barracks and the wall, and it really made it difficult for Lambo to actually continue that flank. If he was able to actually get around that, I think he actually had some leeway. Yeah, like right there is when he got really bottlenecked. So it's a bit unfortunate there for Lambo. He did lose quite a lot of supply in that engagement, but he's still set up nicely for the late game anyway. He's got tons of bases. He's got his economy fully set up. He's got infestors out on the map right now as well, so it's not like he just lost the game with that move or anything. Just not the most efficient trade overall. So we'll see if he can continue this momentum over into the late game, as well as Clem, someone that we know very proficient in this late game situation.
But the fungal is huge. Catches a good number of Marines and Marauders. Is Clem going for, I think this is a Widow Mine drop coming through. Yeah, with the Armory and perhaps even Drilling Claws done. Clem trying to be a nuisance on Lambo's side of the map, trying to slow down the economic machine here of Lambo. And Lambo, for now, it seems like he is content just to play this Hydraling, Baneling style just a little bit better upgraded. You know, he's got a Lunge upgrade now, Adrenal's about to finish, +3 Carapace and +2 melee attack are underway. Things are really going well here for Lambo, and he's feeling good enough that he's not going into the Ultras, which I find really interesting. We also don't have Vipers being added in here by Lambo, and that makes me think that we're likely going to have Lambo actually gearing up for another attack, whether it either be at what could be a potential 5th base for Clem, or maybe even trying to just batter through into the 3rd or the 4th.
Yeah, for now he's just going to be clearing out some rocks, just continue to get as much, you know, surface area on the map as possible for any type of engagement. A couple of Widow Mines dropping on into the space on the right-hand side. Won't be able to get too much, so a nice reaction from Lambo yet again as he denies any economic damage here. So really nice control. It really feels like Lambo's in a flow state right now, just defending everything with ease. He's got great control all over the map, prepared for everything. The Liberator also able to get denied by these couple of Spore Crawlers. That won't get too much damage. And another great fungal on some of these Marines, able to connect with the Banelings yet again. The trades for Lambo continue to be very good.
Yeah, can we get a shot actually at the units lost tab? Because it feels like Lambo's played such an efficient game. Yeah, look at that. Zerg, wow. More cost efficient than Terran heading into the 13-minute mark. You rarely see this in modern ZVT. Usually it's the Zerg with a large economy just kind of throwing meat into the grinder here and hoping something sticks. Instead, a bit of a role reversal right now as Lambo once more going to be attacking into this 4th base. Army nowhere to be found here for Clem. Just some Ghosts and Liberators here on the high ground. That's going to mean that Lambo will be taking down this command center. Lambo does lose one hatchery on his side of the map, but he is really every other base. You know, the entire 5 expansion line on the bottom has been taken here by Lambo. Lambo has more expansions going up into the top right corner. If this hatchery falls, it might become an issue here for Zerg, but there are still so many minerals left to saturate.
Yeah, losing both gold bases is a bit unfortunate here for Lambo. So, yeah, a bit of a bite back there for Clem. Able to continue to stay in this game. He's doing his best, of course. As we said, Clem is someone that is so proficient in these late game situations. He's so good at being efficient once the ghost count gets ridiculous, once the base count gets really, really high. So, Clem definitely still fighting back. He's absolutely got a large army right now, and he's always going to be threatening in these positions. Lambo has been doing well overall, but he's never actually gotten to a point where it's just like totally over for Clem by any means. So Clem now with a big death push across the map.
Yeah, and Lambo is setting up for a gigantic surround on this army. Lings and Banelings flooding in from all sides right now. Can the Infestors get good fungals? None of them connect just yet, but it doesn't seem to matter. The Lings and Banelings are streaming in. Clem is going to stutter step back into the expansion actually of Lambo and try and lift everything up. The Ghosts for now are able to survive. No fungal connected with the Medivacs, but man, what a fight taken by Lambo. And Clem right now, this army is basically stranded here in the main base of Zerg.
Yeah, this is going to be difficult to get out here. There's going to be a lot of Hydras on the right-hand side as well to be able to deal with the Medivacs. They're going to have to probably just sit in the corner or try to just boost over the Hydras, but yeah, it's going to be so difficult to get everything out right now. 10 Corruptors about to finish up as well. I feel like all these Medivacs and all those units are doomed to die. So now it's up to Clem to try and find anything else on the map as he boosts another Medivac to the left-hand side, and yeah, there goes all those Medivacs. That's so much supply and so many units. Some Ghosts as well in there. That's going to be really painful to lose.
I mean, that was just the perfect trade for Lambo as Clem falls down below 160 supply right now. Clem Clem on his side of the map, he has been able to secure another expansion. He's also retaken the expansion at the 9 o'clock position. And he's gotten some good jabs in too. Kills the drones down and some overlords here in the bottom left corner. The problem is that Lambo, he is so big economically that losing those gold bases, even losing the drones down the bottom left, it's not causing as much of a disruption as you would typically see in a ZVT. Instead, Lambo, he is still maxed. He even has, what, a 3,000 or 4,000 resource bank? And he's locking up for another attack here.
Big Widowmine shot right there on some of those Zerglings, but the rest of the army is still extremely strong right now. The Corruptor is also going to be helping out versus this large Liberator count. The Banelings just finding the back line as well, killing off as many units as possible. A lot of the bio on the reinforcement on the right-hand side was able to clean up some of those units, but the PF falls down as well. So Clem will be able to defend, but not without taking some heavy losses.
Yeah, it was a very expensive trade for Lambo, though. That was a lot of Banelings that went down. The Corruptors, some of them fell, some of them were badly injured right now, and you can really see the discrepancy in the units lost tab. The thing is, the income advantage, as Mapu wisely pointing out, heavily into Lambo's favor. The question is, who can sustain these losses better? Lambo might be trading inefficiently on Clem's side of the map, but I think it is worth it as long as he's able to keep the expansions of Terran under control. Because Clem has never had that moment where he's able to throw down a ton of macro command centers. Actually, looking at the minimap, it is the main orbital that is flying down to the 9 o'clock position. Clem really not in the best of ways.
Yeah, it's going to be really difficult if a couple more of these bases do get sniped off by the Banelings. Of course, you need to be a little careful as Lambo. You don't want to be overzealous and just kind of lose everything for the base itself. But some Corruptors, again, finding these Liberators without any defenses. And so this base is once again going to get dislodged. The reinforcements not quite here in time. And there's still a large army on the right-hand side. Thankfully, that Widowmine does see that. So, I almost called him Maru. Clem is able to respond knowing that there's nothing actually threatening on that side. Will be able to defend the left-hand side and get that base going because he really needs that economy.
The game is quieting down just a little bit here as Lambo's mustering more forces, 8 more Corruptors in production, and actually, can we get a shot? Is there a greater spy right now, or is this just pure Corruptor here to deal with the Medivacs and Liberators? Okay, just a regular Spire, no greater Spire just yet. So I like this move coming out by Lambo a lot. You know that the Terran economy is not really in a good position right now. If you're able just to completely wipe the board of Medivacs and Liberators, that can be huge here for Lambo.
These Widowmines are still being very difficult, but a nice fungal on some of those bio units will be able to tag up those, so that way the Banelings can actually get the connections there. Very nicely done. The Ultras trying to get some damage, but then a couple snipes also able to deal with that. So the trades back and forth, but I feel like Lambo is still taking the initiative here. Some Infestors are starting to fall as well, which is a bit unfortunate, and now the bio is pretty strong on the left-hand side, so the base will get killed off, but a lot of the units as well for Lambo.
But it's the same story as the 9 o'clock expansion getting taken out. These trades, they're expensive here for Lambo. They're not cost-efficient trades, but his economy is so much bigger that he's basically accepting the losses. He's muscling over this, and Clem senses this. He doesn't have a command center. He's actually lifting the natural expansion now towards 12 o'clock. Because there's no other easy way to populate those mineral lines. So Clem feeling the pressure right now. He's going to be charging in, but Lambo looking for this round. A lot of Lings just finished up, and that's it. GG called. Lambo tying up the series 1-1.
Oh my god, the Lambo Leavers. We are here. He is alive in this series. It's the first time he's taken a map off of Clem in this tournament so far in both of the series that they've played. So that is the best Lambo has looked yet, and it feels like he's only getting better every single time as well. So that was really nicely done from Lambo. Just a really good control game. Like, he just was so in control of the tempo the entire time. The harassment from Clem, unable to do anything. I feel like ever since that one Baneling attack at the third base and then the Baneling defense at his own side of the map happened, where it got all those Marines when Clem wasn't looking, ever since that point, it felt like Lambo really was just fully dictating the pace of the game.
It seems like Clem is a very momentum-based player, and usually the micro and multitasking from Clem is so good that he never has a big loss like that. As you pointed out, where the Banelings rolled into the third base of Clem, attention was diverted. Suddenly he wasn't watching the army there on the front line near Lambo's fourth base, and Lambo was able to take an excellent trade, picking off a ton of Marines, even cleaned up the siege tanks there. And from there, Lambo really just kept pumping the gas. He didn't slow down at all, and you could see Clem really trying to throw a couple of wrenches into the works. Like the moment that he had drilling claws and an armory online, he's sending 4 Widowmines into medevac cross map, hoping that he can maybe drop one of these in like 2 or 3 different bases and just cause a problem to slow Lambo down. capture Lambo's attention so that he can push into some other side of the map. But Lambo was on top of basically everything.
Yeah, it was great to see. It would also be great to see you guys head over to the merch site, TastelessThreads.com. We got lots of great stuff over there. RSL swag, you can get Tastosis stuff and just general gamer and SC2 things, whatever you would like. Of course, it is getting nice and hot out the summer, so you can get some nice new t-shirts. The sweatshirt probably you might not want just right now, but get some nice t-shirts for your summer, your summer beach vibes, Get the StarCraft gamer beach vibes going with our wonderful merch.
Or maybe you're Australian. Maybe it's winter now. And you actually need to pick up a sweatshirt.
I forgot the Southern Hemisphere existed. That's a very good point, Dave. Thank you for remembering all of our wonderful Southern Hemisphere people.
Anyway, folks, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, the specify between Lambo and Clem will continue.
Basically doing, fail.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's continue on with Clem versus Lambo. This best of 5 series has been whittled down to a best of 3, all tied up 1-1. Both players only needing 2 more victories to advance to the upper bracket finals to face herO.
Yeah, it's been a great series so far, a bit unsuspected. I mean, we are a couple of Lambo leavers here, but I'm sorry, I love this so much. But
I say this once and you lose your mind.
Dude, it was so funny. I don't know why you don't love this so much. You commit to your own thing, man. This was so funny. Anyways, I was actually not really expecting Lambo to bring out a game like that. I thought if he was going to be getting maps in the series, it was going to be his kind of cheeky, little bit aggressive, maybe all-in-y style play, but a straight-up macro game, man. That was really nice to see from Lambo.
You don't sound like a true Lambo-believer to me, man, because this is what I was expecting.
Lambo-believe in those all-ins, all right? Come on. It doesn't matter how he wins it. I'm just a Lambo-believer.
Lambo's the real deal. He's spawned in the top left is the red Zerg. Clem down in the bottom right is the blue Terran. Yeah, you never know what kind of game you're going to be getting from Lambo. I mean, me being a Protoss player, most of the games that I see from Lambo, most of the replays that I study in general are going to be Protoss games. So I'm mostly familiar with Lambo's EVP, which is very spellcaster heavy if he's trying to play for a late game. I'm thinking back again to a game that I saw between him and Classic recently where it was like, you ever get those dreams where just nothing quite seems normal, but you can't tell that you're asleep? I thought that I might have been asleep watching this game because Classic would pan to the center of the map, and there would be like 30 evolution chambers just haphazardly placed, and I was struggling to understand what was going on. It was for like Mass Vipers to be able to consume.
Was he playing against Hearst? That was his most recent video, was going Mass Viper.
Oh my God, was Lambo farming Classic for content? Maybe. I mean, it was Mass Viper. There are evolution chambers anyway, everywhere, but anyway, the point that I'm making is that Lambo, he's really capable of anything. He's got some very good late game play, very spellcaster focused. It doesn't quite look like any other Zerg's play, but he's also very good at utilizing all the tools in the Zerg arsenal to try and win games early. I mean, we saw him attempt to go for that in game number 1 with a proxy hatch and Spinecrawler rush, which was the first variant of that hatch build that I've seen. Almost like a ZVP build for a second there.
Yeah.
And so coming into game number 3 now, on the back of what was really a beautiful macro game from Lambo in game number 2, you gotta wonder where he's gonna take this.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a throwback to the good old Egg Morphs from the group stage as well. Egg Morpheus himself in the flesh. We'll see if we can get some Roach Ravager plays out of him, because that was doing so well for him earlier, but I mean, it just looks like the macro style is still going well as well. So Lambo is bringing out all the stops here so far in this series, as he does try to get that third base, so it's not going to be any super fast early lair stuff coming out from him this game, at least. It's going to be some more of that 3-hatch goodness, some good old macro play.
And I like the way that Lambo did this too. He sent out 2 drones, one to the linear expansion on the north side and one towards the triangle expansion towards the center, knowing that, Clem, with only 1 SCV, you can block one of these hatches, you cannot block them both. So Lambo just securing that 3rd hatchery nice and early here, preventing the Reaper from any more delays. And Clem, on his side of the map, opting for a fast 3rd command center once again.
Yeah, we'll see what his follow-up is exactly with that, whether he tries to go for some faster stim with some extra barracks and going for some more early bio medevac play, or if he's going to go back into that Hellion Banshee that was so popular. We do see that 2nd barracks coming in pretty quickly, so it might be that former thing that I mentioned right there. But the Hellion Banshee wasn't able to do all that much last game, so I would not be surprised if he does try to switch it up just a little bit here in this 3rd game right now. As the Reaper still does try to get some extra scouting information, of course, wanting to know exactly what's going on. If he can get a drone, that would be nice as well, as he will actually get that drone. So, yet again, Clem coming out with an early little advantage with that drone micro there.
Clem Reaper is built different. It feels like most TVZ games at the top level, you don't even want to I mean, as casters, we know this. You don't even really want to talk about the Reaper trying to get damage done because it basically never culminates in anything. But with Clem, there is always a very real possibility of a drone getting sniped. It just seems like if this was like a campaign, you would have like the Clem Reaper, which has like a 20% higher rate of fire or something like that. You know, like his Reapers just get more done. I don't know how he does it, but Clem consistently able to pick off drones. It's happened multiple times in this series already.
I feel like this early game TVZ interaction is just like caster purgatory for me. It's just like I'm just stuck here casting the same Reaper versus drones and Lings over and over and over again. Nothing ever happens, and then one Reaper finally kills the drone. I'm like, oh my god, I'm free! Yes, I'm done with this purgatory. Get me out of here.
All right, Roach is now coming on the field here for Lambo. The usual transition from Roaches, and I know I might be getting ahead of myself here, is to play the Roach in the mid game with fast +1 Carapace and then kind of pivot into fast Ultralisk. It can be on a 3 base economy, it can be on like a 3.5 base economy. I wonder if that's where this one's going to go, but Lambo throwing down a second Evolution Chamber. He could also just be going for some really heavy Roach play. For now, it's just really a couple of Roaches for some safety here, making sure that Clem, if Clem were to go for Hellion Banshee once more, wouldn't be able to find too many angles of attack.
Yeah, lots of Marines coming out right now, though, for Clem as he's setting up this bio transition, of course, off of the third command center. Getting the stim finished up, getting the extra 2 medevacs coming on out, so he will be finding his way onto the map in just a little bit with all that finishing on up, as the third base will also just float on over and getting that double eBay as well. So going to be fully moving on into the double upgrades, as you would expect, as he does find just an Overlord on the map. We'll take that for free and then find his way across.
Yeah, it's double eBay coming online here for Clem, but notably Lambo is significantly ahead in the upgrade timing window. Usually it's Terran that has this advantage, and we are going to have the Infestation Pit thrown down here from Lambo. So taking up in a hive, building up towards Ultralisks is a real possibility here for Zerg. Can Lambo weather the storm? Reaper picks off another drone right there, trying to set up the 4th base. Clem continuing to take down these Overlords. Another one going down here at the 9 o'clock position. Luckily Lambo's at out of 146 supply right now, so he has a couple more Overlords that he could lose if he wanted to. Oh, lucky him. Dropping 2 more Overlords here, but no supply block.
Probably like, God, he's so supply blocked right now. Dude, I'm doing so good, and Lambo's just like sitting here at 190 possible supply or whatever.
Oh, there's the hive. Okay, 6-minute hive coming in here from Lambo, so it seems like we will be having the Ultralisk transition coming through. Right now, just 64 drones. A couple more are in production here for Lambo, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just kind of stayed on this count for a long while right now. 67, it's enough to saturate these 3 bases fully.
All right, Marines going into the main base right now. Roaches well in preparation, though. Will be able to keep those from dropping anymore. Unable to do too much right now. Obviously, Clem just trying to task doing as much multitasking as possible just to try and strain Lambo and try to see if anything can get done, of course. But 4th CC already getting planted here from Clem as well, realizing how macro this one could be going. Doesn't want to try to end it super early on 3 bases or anything like that. We'll be going to that longer late game.
And Clem actually starting a reactor in a tech lab right now in the next 2 barracks makes me wonder if he knows exactly where Lambo is at right now in terms of development, because I feel like, okay, we do have 1 more barrack switching into a tech lab, so there is going to be a little bit more room for Marauder production. Marauder production is going to be very important right now here for Clem, because the Ultralisk Cavern has started, and so much of really withstanding the first storm of this as the Terran player is having a healthy Marauder count. Otherwise, the Ultralisks, with their fast +2 Carapace upgrade, with the Ultralisk armor itself getting finished in just a little bit, they can just pulverize positions that rely on Marines for their DPS.
Yeah, we still see the medevacs trying to lurk around as much as possible on this left-hand side, as the main force of Clem is kind of grouping up over towards that watchtower on the right-hand side, and will now start to move over to this right-hand side base, as the Marines in the main actually able to deal a decent amount of damage. There weren't enough Roaches actually left behind to deal with that, so a lot of attention pulled from Clem on that top left side, and we even have Microbial Shroud getting researched here from Lambo, so we'll be using that in combination with the Ultralisk to try and get some really heavy engagements that can just be really bursty and just force the Terran to relocate.
Ultralisk Cavern is done. 2 Ultras get started here for Lambo. There hasn't been a big head-to-head engagement between these two just yet. Clem has spotted the hive, but doesn't know exactly what the Ultralisk timing is. Lambo fishing a little bit right now with the Infestor, trying to catch a fungal on these two stray medevacs here on the left-hand side. Meanwhile, Clem really putting on a lot of pressure here towards the 12 o'clock expansion. 2 more Ultras get started here for Lambo. They're about halfway done. One of them will finish at this 12 o'clock base.
Clem is being very patient with this. He doesn't want to go in overzealously. He doesn't want to just kind of dive in and then just get fungled. So he's being very careful, just trying to bait Lambo out, trying to force him into his tank line and get a nice position here. We'll be able to get one of those Ultras pretty low before the engagement happens. A fungal did get chained off right there. Not sure how much it hit, but it did get a decent amount there. But still, that tank line and Widowmine line is still so large. It's going to be very difficult for Lambo to actually go into that. As some of the reinforcements will get killed off is pretty nice. It's another big chunk of bio will get caught by the fungal. But again, can Lambo actually break through this? He's going to use that microbial shroud to try and do that. The damage is much less, and another huge fungal onto that bio will be able to smash this push.
Yeah, the Ultras might have dissipated, but there's just so much left standing there for Lambo at the 12 o'clock position. He's able to power through with pure roaches and infestors. The +2 carapace really paying dividends right now for a Lambo versus just the +1 infantry weapons of Clem. But Clem has stabilized on his side of the map. He secured a 4th base. He's building additional command centers now. The 5th base has gotten started. Lambo, it feels like there should be a moment soon with Ultras, more Ultras streaming onto the map where Lambo can actually burst onto Clem's side of the board and try and get some damage done. But Clem's actually done such a good job over the past few minutes of just levying pressure onto the Zerg that Lambo, in a moment that should be his, is really struggling to hold on.
Yeah, it's so Marauder heavy from Clem as well. He did get the read on the Ultras apparently fast enough to get quite a few Marauders out, so it's been very difficult to get these engagements. But again, the fungals continue to be so good from Lambo, making it as difficult as possible for Clem to actually take some good engagements, forces him back yet again. The medevacs on the right-hand side forced away as well. So it seems like Clem still is in a nice position, but he's got to be careful because this bio is still very low.
Yeah, the bio is low, but unless there's a fungal that gets landed, there isn't really a lot of kill potential here for Lambo because there's nothing that can deal with the medevacs here in the sky. Clement just has so much mobility right now. Even though in a head-on engagement he loses to Lambo, he's able basically to dance around the army of the Zerg. Now he's going to go into the main. He actually snipes the hive. Fungal going to connect with his Marauders, picks off most of the bio, but that is a worthwhile trade here for our Terran.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Good sides from both there, as of course the Ultralists will go on to this planetary fortress, but god, that is so many reinforcements ready to meet that, so nothing able to get done there by Lambo, trying to go on the counterattack right now, realizing how much damage he's taken at home, as the spawning pool also under threat, will get killed off as well. This is looking like it's getting worse and worse. Things are starting to unravel right now for Lambo as he tries to go for a last-ditch counterattack.
It all comes down to this attack right now. Spawning pool has to get restarted. Lambo needs to get damage done. He's going to attack. It's the only base that isn't a planetary fortress here on the front lines. Ling's cleaning up SCVs there. You know, Clem, he's so cautious. Oh no, Widowmine actually connects there onto an Infestor, and the command center here is forming a bit of a bottleneck. The Ultra's trying to chase through. It's a really tough spot to actually squeeze through with all these large Zerg units. Microbial Shroud is going to be dropped to give a little bit more sustain here to the Zerg army as Clem continues to repair the planetary fortress. More units coming in to reinforce. The planetary will fall, but Lambo's army is so badly bruised.
Yeah, he's only got 40 army supply right now. He can't even remake anything with the spawning pool either. It's just going to be Roaches and Ultralisks. The army from Clem is so large, and that's going to be a GG. Clem up 2-1 so far in the series.
Clem looking so good in that last game versus Lambo. Really just abusing the lack of mobility with the Ultralist composition. I mean, there was never really an answer to the medevacs. It feels like very few of them actually got sniped over the course of the game because it's either fungal or queens. There's no other options for Zerg to actually take them out. And so Clem, just continuously dancing around the Zerg army, was able to levy so much pressure, especially in that main base, taking down the hive, constantly having drop harassment near the 12 o'clock base, near the 3rd expansion. Lambo just in disarray.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate because it felt like Lambo was getting such good fungals consistently throughout that game. He was always getting such a large surface area on the bio balls, but just didn't seem to have the follow-up to be able to actually capitalize on it and actually get that nice big swing where you just kill a whole bunch of the bio with the fungals as well. He had the one decent cleanup on the right-hand side during that one main big first push or so, but even at that point, it felt like Clem had already kind of gotten a lot of tempo on his side. He was able to get that 4th base secured from that push and was able to kind of split Clambo up a little bit there. So yeah, it felt like Lambo was never able to get that one final, like, you know, blow. It was like this itch that you just couldn't scratch, just get that last little bit there for Lambo.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back to what really went wrong there for Lambo, but it kind of feels like it was a death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, it just like slowly over time, yeah, just getting killed off there.
All right, folks. Map number 5, or map number 4, excuse me, getting ahead of myself, is loading in right now. Oh god, I spoiled the script. Gemini, quick!
Oh no, quick, hit the back button, State now.
Map 4 loading in. Clem leading this best of 5 series 2-1 over Lambo as he spawns in the bottom left here on Old Republic. Lambo up in the top right.
And so now I wonder if Lambo's going to kind of go back to some of the other stuff that he's been doing a little bit more so in the tournament with some early shenanigans. And with this drone finding its way across the map, seems like that might be the case, as we're going to be going for yet another proxy hatchery, which is interesting because the proxy hatchery earlier on in the series did not really find too much success. It had a couple moments where it felt like it was actually going to break on through, but wasn't able to actually win with the strategy. I'm actually surprised that the Roach Ravager stuff hasn't been coming out, because I feel like Lambo just did so well with that. I'm kind of beating a dead horse with that, but it seemed like the style that he was just running to such good success in this tournament. But going to be bringing out the proxy hatch yet again, so let's see how this one ends up going.
I wonder if this will be a different variant on the build than what we saw before. If you missed game number 1 between Lambo and Clem, was a very similar setup here in the early game. Lambo pulled 2 more drones from the main base. I want to say a little bit later than this moment right now, maybe in 10 or 15 seconds or so was when he pulled them in game number 1 to drop down 2 spine crawlers on Clem's side of the map and really try and push up into the main base of Terran. But there are some other ways to play this. As we saw in the GSL a couple of times, especially by Shin, you can go for a hatchery like this one and just try to disrupt the economy of the Terran. You know, I'm very foggy on the math in terms of how this actually pays off for Zerg, but it seems like that's what Lambo is going for. He's trying to slow down Clem while expanding on his own side.
I do kind of like this too, because since he went for the really aggressive version, the all-in version, the first game, this could possibly force an overreaction from Clem when he does get the scout. It's interesting that he is going for double Rax Reaper as his opening build as well, not yet scouting this hatchery, so we'll see this now. I really wonder how this would interact going against the all-in version as well, with it only being Reapers and not having like the tank potential and stuff like that. But regardless, it's not going to be the all-in version, so we'll see if this maybe forces an overreaction or not. But since Clem sees that there's no spine crawlers being morphed, I feel like he should know that this is just going to be a delay tactic from Lambo.
Yeah, and so Clem just going to build 2 Reapers in total. One will go cross-map, and scout what the follow-up is going to be here from Lambo. Actually sees quite a bit of gas being mined, even though Zergling speed has already been started here for our Zerg player, while the other Reaper gets to work on that hatchery with some reinforcing Marines from the main base. Eventually putting a timer on this, but you need to be careful as Clem. There is a Queen getting started here. Lings are in production. It actually seems like it might be a Baneling bust coming through here, Gemini, as the gas continues to be mined here by Lambo.
Yeah, maybe this is still going to be all in after all, just a slightly different version of it, as the Lings will try to trade out versus these Marines with the Queen to help as well. Still no Baneling Nest being morphed, as it's just going to be more Lings coming in. Speed will be finished up in a little bit here, but these units on the bottom will end up getting killed off. The Queen will get cornered and killed off as well, as these reinforcing Lings should be able to get killed off eventually, but with the speed finishing, I guess they should be able to survive for now.
I think one of the reasons why this is going so poorly for Lambo is he didn't anticipate this being a 2-Rax opening from Clem. Clem just has so much more production than a Terran normally would in a situation like this one. It's quite rare to have, if you go for a 2-Rax opening, it's usually at the natural expansion. Zerg should be able to figure that out very quickly. Clem went for the double Rax opening in the main base, so Lambo didn't really realize this until he saw the second Reaper, and by then, the die has already been cast, so this hatchery gonna get taken down. I think Baneling Nest was likely gonna be the play here for Lambo, as he's going for a surround. These are Speedlings, so they're gonna get on top of the Marines. A lot of them should be picked off. There isn't a full wall in here for Clem. Oh, the Reaper's even getting surrounded. Okay, Lambo catching a little bit of momentum now. Hold the phone.
Yeah, wait, there's actually just no more units right now. The Marines are still getting produced one at a time. Clem realizing that he's kind of been duped a little bit. Didn't expect the fast speed with so many extra Lings coming out, and now things are getting a bit crazy in the main base. The Hellions are out, so that will be able to help deal with this. There's still a Queen here as well, so the creep spreading will still be here, and the hatchery was never actually killed off. So that creep is still here, and there's still production as well at the front.
Yeah, those Lings might try and pounce in again because of the creep right now at the ramp. Clem cannot wall in, and look at this. Spine Crawlers once more getting morphed in here on Clem's side of the map. Lambo is doubling down. I really thought that after Clem was able to get the hatchery down to just a sliver of HP, after he stabilized on the low ground, this rush was over. But Lambo, with a big surround on the Reapers, on the Marines, has regained some momentum. Right now he's hiding these Lings on the backside of this expansion. Now going for a surround once more. The Medivacs can lift this back up. Just be careful as Lambo. Just wait for those Spine Crawlers to finish.
Those Hellions are very threatening on that ramp. He doesn't want to overextend into that. You saw for just a moment, it looked like he might actually get a big shot with those Hellions, but unable to do so for now. The hatchery trying to get sniped here from Clem will be able to actually finally kill this one off, so that's very nice. Can't go too deep, of course, because the Spine Crawlers and the Zerglings are still there, but Lambo able to get an Evo chamber on the back end here, trying to send a drone to the third base as well, so he will be transitioning from this. He's not going to be trying to bust this down any longer, of course. He doesn't really have the means to do that anymore now that the army from Clem is so much larger, but now it's going to be on Clem to try and clear all this creep out, clear these Spine Crawlers, and try to get his own economy going again.
Yeah, creep tumors are spreading back towards these Spine Crawlers, so they will not slowly dissipate life from a lack of creep, as Lambo is basically setting up for a soft contain right now, and with no siege tanks, this is a very awkward kind of position for Clem to try and burst out of, but luckily with the armory done, he can transform those Hellions into Hellbats. Lings are going to connect with this anyway right now, looking for a surround. Some nice elevator micro.
Wow.
With the Medivacs lifting up the injured Hellbats, so not too many losses sustained here by Clem, and finally Clem able to secure his natural expansion. And now let's take a quick inventory of exactly where everything is at. Lambo sitting at 33 drones to the 36 SCVs of Clem. Clem up until this point hasn't really been able to saturate the natural expansion just because Lambo's been occupying it, so the mineral income hasn't been excellent here for Terran, but now that natural is actually online, I really like this position economically here for Clem.
Yeah, definitely. The double Medevac's going to be able to boost everything over to this third base as well, so it might be a little difficult for Lambo to actually keep this alive. The Liberator is also going to make it very difficult. There's only a few Queens on the map, so really no anti-air. A couple of Lings trying to find their way over on the other side, trying to get a counterattack, but again, still so many things there for Clem as well. So Clem able to get a nice stabilizing position now with a kill on this third base would be great, provided that these units can't get a last-second defense.
Seems like the hatchery will survive for now, but it's an expensive hold here for Lambo, who cannot afford to make any more drones. Instead, it has to be Lings. +1 melee attack will finish in just a moment, but there's only so much value to be gained by that versus all of these Hellbats. Right now, 35 drones to 44 SCVs is the main story to follow. Lambo, he has to drone back up, but it's a dangerous position because he's basically caged Clem over the last couple of minutes, and Clem has been building a bigger and bigger army. And now Clem is unleashed on the map. Now he's going for these dropship plays. The third hatchery here of Lambo is a very obvious target with how low it is on HP. And Lambo simultaneously, he not only does he need to defend this, but probably 4 Medivacs. I thought this might be 2. It's 4 Medivacs with siege tanks coming in. So the Hellbats are going to defend the natural expansion here for Clem. Eventually, the Lings get cleaned up, and now what can defend the third of Lambo?
This is a strong force. It's even got a tank in the fray as well, going to make it very difficult for the slow Banelings as well to try and get any connections onto the Marines. The micro potential is going to be huge here for Clem, and this is looking like it's going to be dire straits for Lambo right now. Perfect focus fire by those Marines, and Clem will close this one out nice and easily with that defended proxy hatch yet again.
Yeah, man, Clem just a little bit too strong, able to win this series 3-1 over Lambo, and he's going to be advancing into the upper bracket final versus herO. That should be a showstopper series. Yeah. Honestly, great performance there by Lambo. I feel like a lot of these games were very close, and the proxy hatch games were so unique.
Yep.
The way that Lambo played it, it's very different to the proxy hatches that we typically see in Korean ZBT. I would love to explore kind of the potential of those builds a little bit more here, and hopefully we get Lambo a couple more Terrans and RSLs in the future.
Yeah, definitely. But he's not out just yet. Still going to that lower bracket, as this was the upper bracket. So still more Lambo to be had a little bit later, of course, next week. Just trying to go to some ZVZs down there.
Yeah.
As that is just the Zerg. Look, I think this is hilarious.
Yeah, you had the exact same thought as me.
We've got 4 Zergs, and I mean, let's just say it, Reddit's going to be feasting because they're just all in the lower bracket.
Where
this is
they
hilarious.
belong, Gemini.
Stay down there, you filthy people. I'm just kidding.
The one Protoss and the one Terran remain in the upper bracket.
No matter how many
four
times
Zergs.
we get a Zerg in this playoffs, we still get a PBT in the upper bracket finals. Oh,
Hey,
RSL, man, you couldn't ask for anything different.
It means we're guaranteed a Zerg in the lower bracket semifinal.
Yeah,
it means we're
yeah,
guaranteed a Zerg in the lower bracket final.
Yeah.
So that is a silver lining here.
Think long term, Reddit. All right, come on. This doesn't look. This is not as bad as it looks. All right, this is just guaranteeing future Zergs.
Anyway, folks, today is the 24th of May as we take a look here at the Season 5 schedule in the RSL. RSL will be wrapped up next weekend. That's going to be an early start. We're going to be cramming in a ton of series. It'll be a marathon of StarCraft 2 action with all the casters here, all the players getting ready. So make sure you tune in and make sure you tune in early. It's a 3-hour earlier start time than we typically have in the RSL.
Yes, 4 p.m. KST. Go ahead and time convert that to wherever you are. But it's going to be great. It's going to be an awesome finale to the season. We've had some great season finales so far. So yeah, we're very excited to get this wrapped up next week.
And of course, one more big shout out to our official partner here at the RSL Revival, Archon Studio. They are making the StarCraft Tabletop Miniatures game. If you've been watching the RSL, you're already keenly aware of what they are doing and how cool their miniatures are. And if you haven't seen them just yet, the RSL team's actually produced some videos that really go into a deep dive, either in the miniatures or in the way the game is played. It looks absolutely incredible. Go to StarCraft/TMG.com and check out what they are cooking up because it just looks so cool.
Absolutely. That's going to wrap us up today and this week as well. Please be sure to tune in next week for our wonderful finale. It's going to be a little bit earlier, so check that calendar a little bit. But thank you guys for watching today. We will see you next time. Stay happy, stay hydrated, and check your posture, please. Bye-bye.